You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1580 1580 Chapter 360 Killing Red Armor 1. Outside. Suyu sensed for a while, but there was no one around. He stopped pretending to be a water person. The identity of a water person was too ostentatious, and many people were staring at him. He stopped using his innate skill, and soon, Suyu turned into Cui Lang. Although humans were also being stared at, it was still better than being a water person. It was easier for humans to pretend to be humans, but pretending to be a foreign race would cause a lot of trouble. Pretending to be a human race was a special effect of the divine text. Pretending to be a foreign race was not just a problem of the divine text. Too many things would be exposed. I'm Cui Lang again. Suyu smiled. This was good too. He was also Cui Lang on the heaven hunting list. This way, he could reduce a lot of suspicions. It was because there were many experts here. He could sense quite a few mountain and sea realm experts. He didn't see the sun and moon for the time being. He didn't know if they hadn't come, or if they had hidden far away. Or perhaps, there were some restrictions between the sun and moon. Or perhaps, what kind of suppression did the heaven-breaking valley have on the sun and moon? He wasn't too clear about this. He only knew that there were very few battles between the sun and moon on the Yu High Plain. Most of them were below the sun and moon. Of course, the powerful gods and demons weren't to be trifled with. These powerful clans, the Soaring Realm Warriors, had reached the peak. Their physical strength could reach the strength of 10,000 apertures. Ling Yun's 9 transformations, looking at the cultivation techniques and the 9 transformation treasures that the other party had chosen, everyone's progress was different. For the stronger ones, under the 9 transformations, every time their vitality changed, their strength would increase by 50%. For the weaker ones, under the 1 transformation, it was normal for them to increase their strength by 5%. Their races, cultivation techniques, resources, and talents were all at the same realm. The gap between them was huge. The geniuses here were not some weaklings. If they were truly weak, Red Armor, who was at the 7th level of Lingyun, would not be able to take one strike from Suyu. At this moment, the geniuses on the heaven roll had yet to see that those fellows might be even stronger. Tian Duo. Suyu made a judgment. If Tian Duo cultivated according to the pinnacle of the Shurdemon race, this fellow, who was at the 7th level of Lingyun, might be able to surpass the strength of 100,000 apertures. In any case, it was right to be terrifyingly strong. Of course, the other party might not have reached that stage. For example, Tian Duo might not have completed 36 casts. It didn't mean that he could complete as many casts as he wanted. In any case, when it came to physical strength, Suyu was definitely far inferior to the other party. Tian Duo seemed to be a fighter. If a fighter's willpower wasn't strong, he might be able to challenge him. A genius of the gods and devils. Suyu transformed into Cui Lang and rushed over again. He sighed in his heart. If he didn't come to the heavenly battlefield, he wouldn't know how many experts there were. He didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Now that he was here, he finally understood how difficult it was to fight across ranks. Huang Tang and the others could only kill the weak tribes' mountains and seas. If he went up, he could go up. But if he tried to kill the gods and devils' mountains and seas, then he would be truly awesome. Speaking of which, was Bai Tianhao killing the gods and devils' mountains and seas, or the weak tribes' mountains and seas? Nowadays, mountains and seas were worlds apart. If Bai Tianhao had killed the gods and devils' 7th level mountains and seas, then he would be ridiculously powerful. With some doubts, Suyu didn't think about Bai Tianhao anymore. Soon, he was once again near Heaven Break Valley. There were people in the surroundings, but they didn't rashly investigate. Similarly, Suyu didn't investigate others, and he looked very vigilant. Tianduan Valley. Su Yu did not look at it much earlier. Only now did he realize that the entire valley was shrouded in fog. It was a vast expanse of whiteness. The entire valley was very, very long. He could not believe that it was man-made. How deep it was could not be seen now. The valley was shrouded in fog and blade aura. However, there were people in some places. The blade aura in those places was weak, so they could go deeper. In other places, Su Yu did not dare to try and threw a stone in. Just as the stone was thrown, with a bang, it exploded into powder. In the distance, Tendo's group did not shout anymore. Instead, they were doing some preparatory work. They did not know how to solve the problem of the blade aura. The main reason was that they were worried that Huang Teng would trigger a great explosion of blade aura. Otherwise, with the current strength, being able to kill and fly in the air was a limited threat to flying in the air. It's a good place to kill and loot. Su Yu looked down at the Great Rift Valley. It was a vast expanse of whiteness. Assassinating people here was a very good choice, right? There were so many people around, and most of them had the same thought. If it weren't for the worry about the explosion of saber chi, there would probably be people entering right now. The 10,000 races weren't united. The gods and demons weren't united either. Only when it came to humans, the gods and demons were united. Further away, Red Armor suddenly looked at Su Yu and frowned slightly. At this moment, Su Yu had reverted to Cui Lang's appearance, but he didn't appear carelessly. His entire body was covered by a black robe, which was slightly different from before. However, Red Armor took a look and a golden light appeared in his mechanical eyes as he looked in that direction. Boom! Su Yu shattered the light and turned his head to look at him. He said coldly, "Fellow Taoist from the Black Armor clan, what advice do you have? Are you a human?" Red Armor did not manage to investigate clearly and said in a low voice, "Fellow Taoist, are you a human?" As soon as he said this, many people in the surroundings came to investigate. As for Su Yu, his willpower burst out and shattered all the probing gazes. He said coldly, "Is it true that it has nothing to do with fellow Taoist? Do you think that you can act recklessly just because you're on the celestial race's side? Fellow Taoist, do you want to have a go at it?" Red Armor frowned and suddenly shouted, "Cui Lang, stop pretending. I recognize you. Cui Lang." At this moment, many gazes from all directions gathered once again. The human race just ranked third on the yellow list. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1581. 1581 Chapter 360 The killing Red Armor shocked the world too. Cui Lang of the Great Ming Mansion. Weapon Forging Master. The guy who killed the black-armored clansman in the blue armor. As soon as these words were said, the divine light in Tendo's eyes burst out. He looked over and shouted, "Take off your mask. Human genius." It was fine if he didn't meet him, but if he met him, he would kill him if he could. Su Yu cursed in his heart. He must kill this Red Armor. Nosy. On the other side, the white-haired and Mintian also looked at Su Yu and said coldly, "Fellow Taoist, how about taking off your mask to take a look?" Fellow Taoist should know about the conflict between the human, god, and demon races. If it wasn't for the human race, we would apologize to you. Su Yu said coldly, "There are so many people hiding their identities in this place. Why don't you investigate me? Do you think I'm weak? The gods and demons are strong, but they aren't the rulers of the 10,000 worlds. Do you want to kill me?" And Minchin's eyes flashed. On the other side, the three-eyed devil opened his third eye and looked at Su Yu. As for Su Yu, his willpower exploded again and shattered the other party's investigation. Tian Duo rose into the air and looked at Su Yu coldly. As for Su Yu, he sneered, he pointed at the Red Armor and said, I suspect that you are a human under your armor. Can you take off your armor? Tian Duo, you are not looking for trouble if you want to kill Huang Teng. It's one thing for you to be enemies with the Five Elements clan, but now you want to be enemies with me. Are you a newbie who doesn't know anything? Do you really want to be beaten up? This and that are also targeted. Do you believe that you will become the public enemy in the end? A cold light flashed in Tian Duo's eyes as he said indifferently, what you said makes sense. I have no intention to be enemies with anyone. Whether you are Cui Lang or not, I just want to remind you not to interfere recklessly. Otherwise, you will die. Ha! Suyu laughed, don't talk about threats. One look and you can tell that he is a fledgling. He doesn't pay attention to these things when he kills people here. Threatening who will die is a joke. If he really can kill, I will turn around and kill you. It's that simple. Tian Duo glanced at him again and looked around. Just as Suyu said, there were more than one or two people who hid their identities. If he really investigated Suyu, what would happen to the others? His goal was Huang Teng, not to offend many people. With this in mind, even if Tian Duo suspected that he might be a human, at this moment, he did not say anything. On the battlefield of the heavens, it was necessary to play dumb appropriately. One should not lose the big with the small. Suyu cursed in his heart again. Very soon, he looked at the red armor that was still staring at him. He said coldly, the guy from the Black Armor clan is very bold. Let's wait and see. Don't think that just because you have hooked up with the celestial race, including an Mintian from the celestial race, don't be too arrogant. In the myriad realms, gods and demons are not the rulers. Be careful not to offend any expert from the ancient race and destroy your whole family. What a big tone. An Mintian frowned slightly. The guy from the ancient race? Today, the atmosphere was a bit strange. One by one, lunatics appeared. Each of them was quite arrogant. This guy who was wearing a black robe and covering his face didn't seem to be very strong. At this moment, he actually dared to threaten him. Beside him, Hong Jia transmitted his voice, Lorden, why don't I go and test him? If it really is that human Cui Lang, Lorden, please help me take him down. He couldn't be bothered to say anything more and didn't expect anything from an Min Tian. He was prepared to go and test him personally. If it really was that Cui Lang, he would take the opportunity to kill him now. Once the other party was really Cui Lang, and Min Tian would make a move, including those guys from the demon race. And Minchen's eyes flickered as he transmitted his voice, alright, be careful. If it wasn't that Cui Lang, that guy from the ancient race, you can leave after testing him out. Understood. Hong Jia replied, his heart filled with doubt. Was this really not Cui Lang? In any case, he felt that it was very similar. Regardless of whether it was true or not, he would give it a try first. At this moment, Suyu wanted to leave. He was very depressed. He was too outstanding. He couldn't hide it no matter how hard he tried. He could be discovered even if he pretended to be someone else. It was simply unreasonable. The calamity word started to throb slightly again. Suyu cursed in his heart. Is he not willing to give up? He looked over from the corner of his eye. Red armor seemed to be eager to give it a try. Suyu looked at the Grand Canyon in front of him and cursed in his heart. You're courting death. Little hairy ball, when I jump down later, you attack his sea of consciousness in an instant. I'll kill him. You are going too far. I can't even be bothered with you. I am ready to deal with the gods and demons. You are a guy from the Black Armor clan. Don't you know how to cherish your life after escaping from me? Heaven-splitting saber chi. Suyu made a judgment. It was not harmful to him. He might be able to borrow some strength from it. However, he would let it go now to avoid suspicion. Cui Lang did not know how to use the heaven-splitting saber. Come at me. Su Yu gritted his teeth. This bastard dared to come. As long as it wasn't an Mintian who personally took action, I will kill you with one strike. In his mind, the divine runes gathered and merged into the god-expanding hammer. The multi-divine runes battle technique was formed. The in-character divine runes made some concealment to prevent others from seeing that this was a multi-divine runes battle technique. His young aperture was half opened. If I can't kill him, how can I not kill you? You dare to try. As for the danger. Even Huang Teng was fine, and Su Yu wasn't that afraid. Could it be that my means aren't as good as Huang Teng's? If I jump down and hide, it would be difficult for the other party to discover me. If I really kill him, there might be a heaven and earth reward, and it won't be small. If it's heaven's origin energy or something like that, I'll give it up. I don't want it anymore. If it's something else, I won't waste too much time. I'll take it and run. Su Yu had already made his plans, but the calamity divine text was still jumping, becoming more and more powerful. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1582. 1582 Chapter 360 The Red Killing Armor shocked the world 3. This thing had a very strong sense of danger. Sometimes, it was similar to the sun and moon's premonition. If someone wanted to attack him, some of the danger senses would cause them to jump. The calamity divine text seemed to be useless, but it was actually very helpful to Su Yu. The few times he ran away, it was all because of the warning effect of this divine text. It was even more reliable than the sensing jade. Su Yu had made all the preparations. He was very angry with this red armor. Damn it, I wanted to kill you on the first day I entered this place. As for revealing my strength here, what was there to be afraid of? It was Cui Lang who had done it, not him. This was what made it exciting. In the distance, the long spear in the red armor's hand had unknowingly appeared. He stared in that direction for a while. That black-robed man seemed to be observing the Grand Canyon. He was really bold. He had just offended a god, but he didn't seem to be worried at all. Aboriginals? Should we go all out? Or should we test them out first? Red Armor hesitated for a moment. If he went all out and killed the other party in one blow, and the other party wasn't Cui Lang, but a disciple of some aboriginals, then he would be in big trouble. Then should we test them out first? Red Armor made a decision. With the intention of testing, he slowly closed the distance between him and Su Yu. Meanwhile, Su Yu was still throwing some stones to test the strength of the saber chi. It seemed that he was not afraid of being ambushed at all. At this moment, the void rippled. Red Armor's speed burst out. A long spear with an extremely powerful murderous aura stabbed toward Su Yu's back. Red Armor has made his move. I've guessed it long ago. That guy is very stupid. It seems that his strength is average, yet he dares to provoke a powerhouse. Discussions instantly broke out. After Su Yu quarreled with them just now, these people knew that Red Armor was likely to make a move. They were all geniuses, and everyone was arrogant and unruly. After being provoked like this, whether it was Cui Lang or not, they would definitely test him out. Only this black-robed fool felt that no one would dare to make a move against him. Not to mention you, even if it was a god or devil, if they really encountered him alone, they would just kill him. Following the heated discussion, Su Yu suddenly turned around and shouted angrily, "How dare you!" Red Armor didn't care how he shouted. Soon, he would know whether he was Cui Lang or not. Be ****. Su Yu cursed again as if he was a little surprised. In the next moment, he jumped into the Grand Canyon and shouted angrily, "Just you wait." Buzz! The long spear pierced towards him. The Red Armor was slightly stunned. He had entered the heaven-breaking valley. Did this mean that he was not a match, or did he not want to be exposed? No matter what it meant, he had already made his move. There was no hesitation. His figure broke through the void. On his armor, the color of blood was even more obvious. The long spear's murderous aura was even stronger. Once again, he ruthlessly stabbed towards Su Yu, who had jumped down. Experts were watching from all directions. At that moment, Su Yu roared, "Watch my god vanquishing hammer." Boom! A huge hammer appeared. "It's really you." The red armor's baleful aura surged. It was indeed you. He was too familiar with this hammer. He had also tried its might. At that moment, he no longer had any hesitation. He released his yuan qi to its limits. With a boom, the hammer above his head trembled. And at that moment, the tiny furball that had been lying on the ground in the hammer vanished without a sound. The red-armored yuan qi burst out and blocked the huge hammer. He grunted coldly in his heart. It was not like he had never fought Cui Lang before. He had some understanding of his huge hammer. As long as his yuan qi was powerful, the hammer would not be able to shake him easily. At that moment, he diverted his attention to block the huge hammer while thrusting his spear at Su Yu. In the distance, An Mintian and Tian Duo's eyes flickered as they rushed over. Since he was truly a human genius, then there was no way he could escape. Red armor was trying to stall for time. If he didn't allow this fellow to escape into Heaven Break Valley, this fellow wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Just as the two of them moved, Red Armor's sea of consciousness suddenly trembled slightly. Red Armor was a little surprised. What was this? Just as he was thinking about it, an incomparably intense pain caused his sea of consciousness to tremble violently. In his sea of consciousness, little Harry Ball couldn't find any divine inscriptions. This fellow wasn't a divine scribe. Little Harry Ball was a little dejected. He bit down on the barrier of his sea of consciousness with a heavy bite. The red armor's willpower wasn't strong to begin with, and little Harry Ball was also an ancient Ling Yun. With a single bite, half of his sea of consciousness was destroyed. Under the intense pain in his sea of will, he was in a daze. At this moment, the big hammer that he had been blocking exploded with an extremely powerful might. Boom! As the hammer smashed down, the entire sea of will collapsed instantly and completely disappeared. The little hairy ball also attached itself to the big hammer at this moment. As for Su Yu, he suddenly turned around and grabbed the long spear. His hand was in the shape of a claw, and as he clawed out, an ear-piercing sound rang out. With a poochie sound, the red armor's chest was directly pierced through by him. A piece of black iron that looked like a heart was grabbed by Su Yu, and with a bang, it was crushed by Su Yu. He had killed the Azure Armor before, and he had studied the Azure Armor of the Black Armor clan. Even if his sea of consciousness collapsed, the other party might not necessarily die. With two simultaneous attacks, he crushed the other party's heart, and if he broke his sea of consciousness again, then he would be dead for sure. Bang! With a loud bang, the next moment, a cloud descended and instantly fell into Su Yu's sea of consciousness, and a divine text appeared. As soon as it appeared, with a bang, it was shattered by the golden atlas. Su Yu cursed in his heart. Holy shit! It was shattered. This wasn't a human divine text, it was a foreign divine text. Of course, at this moment, the shattered divine text had a powerful divine text lingering in his sea of consciousness. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1583. 1583 Chapter 360 The Killing Red Armor Shocked the World 4. The divine language of heaven and earth. Su Yu cursed in his heart. It was broken just like that. I didn't even see what kind of divine language it was. He didn't have time to think too much. He grabbed the body of the red armor that was in disbelief until the day it died. He grabbed it and put it into his storage ring. In an instant, he descended from heaven-breaking valley. With the help of the white mist and blade energy, he disappeared from where he was in the blink of an eye. He had only disappeared for less than a second when Tian Duo and Mintian arrived. With a hum, Mintian slashed down with a sword light. With a loud boom, the saber chi and the sword chi collided. Mintian took a few steps back, his eyes cold and fierce. On the other side, Tian Duo was also surprised. On his forehead, the flame symbol became even more blood-red. This god and devil were both so handsome that they didn't look like humans. They weren't human in the first place. Both of their faces were gloomy. In all directions, some people were still chatting, but the conversation suddenly stopped. F***CK. Dead? Just like that? The genius of the Black Armor clan. The experts on the profound list died just like that. The heaven and earth rewards had appeared. Obviously, they couldn't be any more dead. They didn't have any false hope that the other party was still alive. At this moment, in the distance, the other experts of the Black Armor clan were dumbfounded. Dead? Killed by Cui Lang. They really didn't see anything. All they saw was the red armor making a move, and then. There was no then. The hammer struck down, and the red armor was still dumbfounded. It didn't move at all, but Cui Lang struck back and took out its heart was crushed, there was no then. He was killed. At this moment, in the air, a small golden dragon was also stunned. Damn it! He was killed. Red armor was killed just like that. It gulped subconsciously. In the next moment, it suddenly bent down and rushed down. The dragon's roar reverberated. With a boom, it started to slaughter the remaining experts of the Black Armor clan. Mintian's eyes were cold. He was about to go back and attack. The golden dragon roared, the god clan wants to provoke the dragon clan for these useless things. Mintian, I will give you face. If you dare to interfere again, I will definitely take revenge on you next time. The red armor was killed. Mintian's face was ugly. Hearing the threat of the golden dragon, his eyes became even colder. You want to take revenge on me? Then I will kill you first. When had the celestial race ever been afraid of revenge? Just as he was about to attack again, a huge white dragon appeared in the sky. Its eyes were cold as it looked at Mintian. Mintian, don't you want your face? Try it. Dragon battle of the heavenly dragon tribe. Someone shouted in a low voice. The genius expert of the heavenly dragon tribe had arrived. That dragon battle was only at the first layer of the mountain and sea realm. It was slightly stronger than the golden dragon and was even weaker than Mintian. However, at this moment, it was also incomparably domineering. Its dragon eyes stared at Mintian. The heavenly dragon tribe was equivalent to the primitive celestial race. Mintian was only a member of the ice and snow divine race. If they really fought, he might not be Long Zhan's match. At this moment, Mintian's expression changed slightly. Ice and snow covered the surrounding area, covering a radius of 100 meters. A murderous aura seethed. He stared at Long Zhan for a while and said coldly, Long Zhan, you're very good. I'm better than you. Long Zhan quickly turned into a white-robed young man. His hair was white, just like Mintian's. His entire body was white. On the other side, the little golden dragon was wantonly slaughtering the experts of the black-armored race. In the blink of an eye, he killed 5 or 6 armored warriors. In the next moment, the remaining few fled quickly. The little golden dragon was very vengeful and began to chase after them. No one shouted anything. At this moment, the experts of the black-armored race didn't want to live. Some of them directly jumped down from heaven-breaking valley, and their armor that had been cut by the saber chi was shattering. At this moment, no one cared about them. They were dead. When did people not die in the celestial battlefield? What shocked them even more was that Cui Lang killed the red-armored warriors in an instant. Someone took out the heaven-hunting roll. The next moment, they saw changes. The 18th rank of the profound board, Cui Lang, the genius of the Daming Mansion, human. His battle record didn't change. He still killed the 7th level of Ling Yun. However, he instantly entered the profound board from 3rd on the yellow board. In the blink of an eye, he entered the 18th place. There were 360 people on the yellow board, 180 people on the profound board, 72 people on the earth board, and only 18 people on the heaven board. There were a total of 530 geniuses on the 4 boards. At this moment, Cui Lang's rank rose by a lot. Silence. It was confirmed that it was Cui Lang who killed the person. Just now, what was that hammer? God-destroying hammer? Since when did humans have such a powerful godly skill? Everyone was stunned. At that moment, when the hammer landed, Red Armor was stunned. Perhaps his sea of consciousness had been broken. Although Black Armor was not a civilized master, his sea of consciousness was not that weak. Not to mention his willpower, his Yuan Qi was extremely strong. His Yuan Qi could also resist the attack of willpower. However, he could not resist it and was still killed by the hammer. That's the God-expanding hammer. It's a cultivation technique created by the son of the 4th generation head of the Great Xia Civilization Academy. Those who knew more said this at this moment. Regardless of how much they knew, everyone was shocked at this moment. Ling Yun was at level 1. He killed the Black Armor clan's genius Red Armor with a single hammer strike. No matter what, the Black Armor clan was still one of the top 100 races. He had been killed just like that. Red Armor had died too easily. Everyone was in disbelief. They couldn't believe that a genius expert had been killed just like that. Is Red Armor too weak? Bullsh *T. Someone cursed. Weak? Did you really think that there were a few weaklings who could leave their names on the 4 heaven hunting lists? Those who could make it onto the lists were all from the heavenly battlefield. They were all here to fight. If they didn't go to the front lines, the heaven hunting pavilion wouldn't even bother to collect your aura. No matter how strong you were, no matter how talented you were, you wouldn't be able to make it onto the lists. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1584. 1584 Chapter 360 The Killing Red Armor shocked the world. 5. Only those who went to the front lines would be targeted by the heaven hunting pavilion. Su Yu was like that. He was targeted by the heaven hunting pavilion after killing that fellow from the Yin clan. After that, he collected his aura and entered it into the heaven hunting list. The fact that the Red Armor was able to leave his name on the list meant that his ranking was not low. He was also a genius on the profound board. This fellow had crossed ranks and killed someone at the 9th level of Ling Yun. How could he be considered weak? Now, he had been killed in an instant. Everyone just couldn't accept it. Tendo and Mintian had also quieted down at this moment. They didn't care about the dragon battle anymore. They didn't care about the golden dragons that were chasing after the black-armored race either. They all quieted down. A human genius. He had crossed ranks to kill someone right in front of their eyes. He had killed Red Armor in one strike. Not far away, the little golden dragon continued to kill for a while. Other than the 2 guys who jumped into the heaven-breaking valley, the rest were all killed by it. The little golden dragon did not transform into human form but remained in its dragon form. At this moment, there was a strange look in its big eyes. It looked at Mintian again with a strong killing intent. I'm very vengeful. This fellow slashed its sword, and its tail was almost cut off. It had not recovered until now, so it would take revenge sooner or later. Of course, if it couldn't defeat it now, it wouldn't say anymore. It was just curious. How did the human do it? Was the red armor strong? Of course it was strong. If it wasn't strong, why would it think of dealing with a golden dragon? In the end, the powerful red armor and the blue armor, the two geniuses on the heaven hunting list, were killed. There were only 530 geniuses on the heaven hunting list, but 2 of them were killed by Cui Lang. In the Black Armor clan, only these 2 were on the list. They could be considered a strong clan. Out of tens of millions of clans, only 2 people from one clan were on the list. Wasn't that strong enough? Now, it was gone. If the Black Armor clan knew about this, they would probably go crazy. They didn't know if the experts of their clan had rushed over. It seemed that there were experts of their clan guarding the heaven-destroying city. The 4 directions continued to remain silent. The death of Red Armor made everyone somewhat incredulous. It wasn't that no geniuses had been killed before. The key problem was that he had died right under everyone's noses. He had died very quickly and very easily. This was too surprising. That heaven and earth reward just now, I think it's divine prose. It seems like it. Heaven and earth divine prose. There's a heaven and earth divine prose reward for killing Red Armor. That's because Cui Lang is weak. Ling Yun killed Red Armor at level 1, that's why there's such a reward. When did the Great Ming Mansion of the human race produce such a genius powerhouse? Isn't the Great Ming Mansion very weak? The discussion rose again. If this was the Great Xia Mansion, the Great Qin Mansion, the Great Zhou Mansion, or the Great Shang Mansion, well, since it wasn't the Great Ming Mansion, everyone could still accept it. However, now that the other party was from the Great Ming Mansion, they really couldn't accept it. The key point was that Cui Lang's main job wasn't a divine literature master, but a weapon forging master. I heard that. This Cui Lang seems to be about to reach the level of an earth weapon master. Earth division. He's so young. Is the heaven hunting list too low? He has never forged an earth division before, right? If he could forge an earth division in the heavenly battlefield, he would probably be captured and be able to raise his ranking again. All I can say is that Cui Lang hasn't been on the list for too long. It's only been a few days. That's true. The 4 sides discussed. At this moment, Suyu had already entered the heaven-breaking valley and was rapidly escaping. He was still worried that someone would chase after him. As for killing the Red Armor, he could just kill him. I came here to kill all the races. Little hairy ball, you did well. But if you dare to absorb it again, I'll kill you. Suyu sent a voice transmission through his sea of consciousness. Damn it, I just don't have the time to absorb it. You bastard, you're able to seize the opportunity. The heaven and earth divine runes were shattered, and Suyu wanted to run away. This fellow, on the other hand, quickly began to snatch the food. The very rich divine prose's aftertaste and willpower gave Suyu the feeling that although it wasn't as good as the divine prose of the sun and moon that he had absorbed previously, if there were 3 or 5 of them, it would probably be enough. This meant that killing 3 or 5 people was equivalent to obtaining a divine prose of the sun and moon. Compared to killing the sun and moon, it was much simpler. No wonder everyone liked to kill people. I like it too. Suyu absorbed as he ran. If he didn't absorb any more, he would be eaten up by the little fur ball. At this moment, he focused on improving the change word divine text. It would be best if he could reach level 4. His hiding ability was a bit stronger. Now, he realized that his hiding ability was really bad. Whether it was a human or a ghost, they could discover him. This Red Armor was so weak, yet it could actually discover him. He completely forgot about the first time they fought. He felt that the Red Armor was very strong. If it was killed by him, it would naturally be a weakling. Hee, the reward is not bad. Suyu was in a good mood. Moreover, he took away the Red Armor's corpse. This fellow's corpse gave Suyu the feeling that it was also a good material for forging weapons. The Black Armor clan. If we kill that invincible, perhaps we can forge a peak heaven rank armor. The blacksmiths of the 10,000 races are really useless. The heaven cast king didn't even target the black armored race. If I kill them, I might even be able to forge a divine weapon. Su Yu thought to himself. The blacksmiths of this race were simply born with good materials. In addition, he had offended him. If he wanted to forge an earth-grade armor, he might have to rely on them. If he killed a few more, it would be best if he killed some mountains and seas. It shouldn't be difficult to forge an earth-grade armor. As expected, I said that I came to look for materials. Now, the facts prove that I wasn't lying. The Black Armor clan was the best material. I, Su Yu, really never lie. Even if I lie, that's what Chui Lang said. What does it have to do with me, Su Yu? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1585. 1585 Chapter 361 Cast a Body First 1. Su Yu entered Heaven Break Valley. And at this moment, on the human side, the Great Xia Camp, the Demon Suppression Army's headquarters. Lord Xia Ho had arrived. He had personally rushed to the heavenly battlefield. Not only him, but he had also brought several Sun-Moon realm experts, including the Wu family's ancestor, Wu Lan's grandmother. In the main camp, Lord Xia Ho's expression was cold. He, who always liked to smile, couldn't smile at this moment. Huang Teng and Wu Qi were trapped in the Yu High Plain and were in danger of dying. The great Xia family had indeed invested a lot in Huang Teng. Resources and money were small matters. Huang Teng was a genius who was preparing to take over the Demon Suppression Army. The Xia family even wanted to groom Huang Teng as the next general of the Dragon Martial Guards. But now, Huang Teng had encountered a crisis, and the Xia family had no choice but to intervene. Even if the great Xia family had a lot of matters to deal with, even if the Duotian Literature Academy was about to open, he had no choice but to come. Right now, the great Xia family was being managed by General Hu, General Zhao, and a few others. Lord Xia's son, Xia Sini, and Xia Huyo helped manage it. At this moment, the Xia family's lack of manpower was highlighted. There were a few experts from the branch families, such as Xia Yinqi, Xia Chongqing, and Xia Yuan from the Xia Chongqing branch. They were all experts and geniuses, but they couldn't let Lord Xia rest assured. Lord Xia's face was dark. He pondered for a moment and said, "How is Huang Teng's situation now? Any news?" The general of the Demon Suppression Army sighed, "Yes, he's trapped in Heaven Break Valley." Sky Break Valley? Lord Xiaoho let out a sigh of relief. He knew how to run. His origin-splitting saber has been trained quite well. In the Sky Break Valley, he can enhance his saber techniques. If his saber techniques are strong enough, he can even borrow some of my old man's strength. This way, his strength will increase a little. As he let out a sigh of relief, he could not help but curse, "Idiot." Instead of running east, he ran west. Outside the heaven-breaking valley, there were still a large number of demi-human activities, including some fiend god experts. There were also a few ancient cities over there. No one knew how many experts were hidden there and how many realms it led to. What is this guy thinking? By the side, Wu Yuehua's mother said coldly, "Marquis, just say that my Wu Qi has implicated Huang Teng." "Old madam, you've misunderstood." Marquis Xia smiled bitterly. "I didn't mean that. These guys are hard to deal with. The main thing is that it's very troublesome. The old madam is also clear about the situation in the Sea of Desire Plains. The stronger one is, the easier it is to get lost. The Sea of Desire Plains, if you don't have any desires, you'll be tough. As long as you have desires, you'll be easily affected in the Sea of Desire Plains. The stronger you are, the easier it is to encounter trouble and danger. We can send people to rescue you, but once the sun and moon arrive, it's very easy to get lost. Yes, get lost. As they walked, the sun and moon realm might suddenly appear outside the East Rift Valley, or near some ancient cities in the west, or they might simply encounter an enemy expert. In short, in the Sea of Desire Plains, the stronger one was, the easier it was to be disturbed. This was also the reason why many geniuses liked to fight in the Sea of Desire Plains. In this place, if one was too strong, it was too easy to encounter danger. It wasn't just the Sea of Desire Plain. In fact, there were some problems like this in the entire heavenly battlefield. Of course, if there was an invincible presence, then the interference would be much lighter. As they were speaking, a general hurried over from outside the great hall. He hurriedly said, "Marquis, my lords, there's a message from the Sea of Desire Plain." "Speak." Marquis Xia shouted hurriedly. "General Huangteng, researcher Wuxia is trapped in the Heaven Break Valley. On the side of the demon race, the genius Tian duo of the Sure demon race led a large number of demon experts and geniuses and was preparing to enter the Heaven Break Valley to surround and kill them. However, something unexpected happened midway. The general who came to report quickly said, Chui Lang of the Daming Mansion suddenly appeared. In front of the geniuses of all the races in the universe, he killed the red armor of the black armored race. Previously, he also killed the blue armor and killed the 2 experts of the heaven hunting list of the black armored race. Chui Lang's ranking rose to 18th on the heaven hunting list. Now, he is forced into the heaven breaking valley. Marquis, should we contact the Daming Mansion and rescue them together? Marquis Xia was stunned. Chui Lang. Su Yu was the right one. Damn. This kid really knew how to stir up trouble. Hadn't he only been here for a few days? How could he kill the 2 geniuses of the Black Armored clan in such a short time? As the leader of the Xia family, he had some understanding of the situation of the 10,000 races. The 2 geniuses of the Black Armored clan were experts who could kill people of a higher level. Being able to enter the heaven hunting list was a recognition of their strength. These 2 fellows were as weak as green armor. It was definitely not difficult for them to deal with an ordinary 9th level Ling Yun. As for the strong ones like red armor, they would definitely be able to fight against some weaker clans. They were killed by Su Yu just like that. This kid. F***ck. The more he thought about it, the more terrifying he became. How old was he? 19 years old. Lord Xia Ho's expression changed slightly as he said, Chui Lang entered Heaven Break Valley. Yes. Chui Lang went in. Su Yu went in. Lord Xia Ho felt a little complicated. Was it to save Huangteng and Wuxia? To be honest, in the Sea of Desire Plains, even if the Xia family were to save them, unless the great Xia Emperor went or Xia Longwu was not disturbed, the others, including Lord Xia Ho himself, might be disturbed if he went. Sometimes, if one was unlucky and stepped on something, it was normal to be teleported to places like Heaven Destruction City. The geniuses did not have too many scruples. Su Yu went over there. Lord Xia Ho did not know what to say for a moment. This kid could really cause trouble. He was so weak. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1586. 1586 Chapter 361, Casting a New Body Requests 2. Alright, he wasn't weak at all. When he was 19 years old, he didn't even have the time. Su Yu had already killed his way up to the 18th place on the profound list. This was when he had calculated his age. There was a mistake in the input. Otherwise, Su Yu would definitely be on the Earth list. If he killed a mountain and sea one day, he would definitely be on the Heaven list because he was young. He was much younger than Huangteng and the others. While he was thinking about this, the Wu family's old lady asked curiously, Daming Mansion's Chui Lang. Why did he go to Heaven Break Valley? Was he there to rescue? Or, was he there to die? Darming Mansion's guy was so bold. The general who came to report the news. He shook his head and said, I'm not sure. Chui Lang has already entered Heaven Break Valley. We are still investigating the specific situation. On the side of the Demon Suppression Army, Vice General Chen Long has already led a team to Heaven Break Valley. General Chen is not weak and is not old. It should not be difficult for him to successfully reach Heaven Break Valley. Chen Long was not old. If he led the team, it would be much smoother. If he was old, he might not be able to lead the team after leading the team. Chen Long. Lord Xiaohou thought for a while and said, his strength is a little weak. Although he has entered the mountains and seas, at this moment, the Sea of Desire Plains is filled with geniuses from various races. If Chen Long goes, he might not be able to fight against some top-tier Ling Yun. He has only entered the third level of the mountains and seas not long ago. Thinking of this, he suddenly said, this Chen Long seems to be a friend of Su Yu's father, right? The Demon Suppression Army general who had been silent all this while said, he is Su Long's old subordinate. After Su Long retired from the army, he took over the position of captain. After that, he was promoted all the way. Now, he is the deputy general of the 2nd Legion. The 2nd Legion is about to be adjusted. I am thinking of arranging for him to take over the position of the 2nd Legion general. After saying that, he glanced at Lord Xiaohou and hesitated for a moment. However, he still said, Lord Xiaohou, although Su Yu left the Great Xia Manor, Su Long is still serving in the army. Chen Long has fought for many years and has paid a lot for the Great Xia Manor. I hope Lord Xiaohou won't hinder this matter. Lord Xiaohou was speechless. When did I say that I was going to stop him? Every time something happened, they would make me take the blame. Did I say that because he was Su Long's old subordinate, I wouldn't give him a promotion? Cut the crap. Lord Xiaohou snorted. He thought for a moment and said, the mountains and seas are not enough, and the sun and moon are easily in danger. He turned his head to look at someone and said, Elder Zheng, you go. Zheng Ping. The head of the Great Xia War Institution, who had just advanced to the sun and moon not long ago, was the old enemy of the 10,000 heavenly saints. Zheng Ping did not look young, but in reality, he was not that old. The experts of the Great Xia Mansion were not that old. Zheng Ping had just turned 70 this year, so he could be considered young in the sun and moon. Hearing this, Zheng Ping laughed and said, all right, then I'll go. Marquis, at the crucial moment, it's up to us. Civilized teachers are useless. Marquis, in the future, the Great Xia War Institution will have to allocate more money. Master Xiaohou said unhappily, I asked you to save people, not to send you to your death. The Demon Suppression Army General could not help but ask, Master Ho, do we need to go before the sun and moon? Yes. Master Xiaohou said gloomily, maybe we didn't need it before, but now we definitely need it. The sun and moon might not even be enough. Unfortunately, it's easy for things to happen to people who are too strong. In any case, we have to be careful recently. Huangting originally had a 30% chance of being fine, but now 10% is not bad. Don't underestimate Su Yu's ability to stir up trouble. Originally, it might only be the demons who were surrounding and killing them. It might not be long before even the celestial race and the demon race went as well. A large group of 10,000 races would have to go. The more talented one was, the easier it was to stir up trouble. This was a law. Back then, Xia Langu had come to the heavenly battlefield to stir up a lot of trouble, not to mention Su Yu. Huang Teng was able to provoke the origin demon race. Were you looking down on Su Yu? When these words were said, the other people's expressions changed. What did they mean? There was a 30% chance that everything would be fine, but now there was only a 10% chance. Who was he talking about? Who was Master Ho worried about? Even though he did not know the situation, after hearing what Master Xiahou said, the Demon Suppression Army General said, "Then I'll have to trouble you, Principal Zheng." "It's fine. Huang Teng is my student to begin with." Zheng Ping chuckled and said, "Even if Lord Ho doesn't say, I'm prepared to go and take a look at the situation. I've just advanced to the Sun and Moon realm and haven't had the time to show off my abilities. This is just the right time to go and meet some old fellows. I wonder if there are any old fellows from the gods and demons clans who are going." "There definitely are," Lord Xiahou said with certainty, "that's for sure. If they can kill Huang Teng, they won't give up. Besides, even if you go, you have to be careful. Also, if you can save Cui Lang from Daming Manor, then you can save him. If it's too dangerous, then just give up. He won't die so easily. A top-tier monster wouldn't die so easily. Moreover, that kid really had many tricks up his sleeves. He was certain of this. Putting everything else aside, just his ability to conceal his aura was enough to beat Huang Teng." Zheng Ping was a little puzzled, but he still nodded and said, "All right, Marquis, I know what to do. Do we need to inform the Daming Manor?" The general of the Demon Suppression Army asked. The Daming Manor might not pay attention to the matters of the Arai Plain. The main reason is that the Daming Manor did not have many geniuses active there previously. The information of the Great Xia Manor is much more well-informed than theirs. "Let me know." Lord Xiahou said, "It's best if we can inform Zhu Tiandao. Even if we can't, we have to inform Yi Hongyan who is stationed in the heavenly residence. The others might not know Su Yu's identity, but Yi Hongyan might." Niu Bendao's wife heard that Su Yu stayed in her residence for 2 days when he went to the heavenly residence. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1587. 1587 Chapter 361 Casting a New Body. Cho subscribe, 3. Since that was the case, he probably knew about it. Then I understand. The general of the Demon Suppression Army nodded. This was a good notice. The other party was just outside the passageway, so it was very easy for him to inform Zhu Tiandao. Not long after. The Heavens Residence. Yi Residence. Yi Hongyan's gaze was strange. He looked at the Demon Suppression Army expert who came to report the news. After a long while, he said, "I understand. Tell your Marquis that I know what to do." "Yes, my lord." The Demon Suppression Army expert didn't say much and quickly left. The moment he left, Yi Hongyan had a strange expression on his face. "So you hadn't left for long, right?" He had only entered the heavens battlefield for half a month, and he was already starting to cause trouble. They were being blocked in Heaven Break Valley. They really know how to cause trouble. Yi Hongyan had a headache. He was speechless. After thinking about it, he decided to inform Zhu Tiandao about the news. In Yi Hongyan's eyes, Su Yu, this brat, should be more important than Huang Teng. Even the Xia family would have a huge headache for Huang Teng, let alone Su Yu. This time, Zhu Tiandao would probably have a headache as well. The voice transmission talisman transmitted a message. Very quickly, another voice transmission talisman was used to transmit a message. One was directly to Zhu Tiandao, but it was easy to not receive the message over a long distance. The other was a secret relay order. It was transmitted to the emissaries of the Daming Manor within the borders of the Great Zhou Manor. It was transmitted layer by layer, and it could also be quickly transmitted to the Daming Manor. This was also a double protection to prevent some important news from being unable to be transmitted. And not long after she sent the news. In the territory of Daming Prefecture. In the capital prefecture. In the city lord's mansion. Zhu Tiandao picked up the voice transmission talisman and took a look. He felt his teeth ache. F***CKU. You haven't been gone for long, right? F***CKU. You went and provoked a top-tier genius just like that. You were even blocked in Heaven Break Valley by someone. This damned place is close to the central war zone, and after Heaven Break Valley, it can be considered a demon's nest. The Black Armored Race. This race's realm passage seemed to be nearby. You killed them all at once. Aren't you afraid that someone from the great world would come and kill you directly? Bastard, even if you kill people, you have to be careful. You really killed them in front of everyone. How could there be such a person in Daming Prefecture? With this identity, it was only a matter of time before it was exposed. Zhu Tiandao was also helpless. Even if he sent people now, it might not be in time. Luckily, his eldest grandson was over there. He quickly sent a voice transmission back and asked Yi Hongyan to pass on his military order to inform Zhu Hongwen to mobilize some of the Heavenly Dao Army's experts to rescue him. Otherwise, Zhu Hongwen might not even know that there was a Daming Manor genius trapped in the Sea of Desire Plains. Sea of Desire Plains, that damned place, it's better to pray for your own good fortune. You might not even be able to count on reinforcements. He shook his head. Zhu Tiandao sighed. He knew that he had been to that place a few times, and it was a little bizarre. It didn't have much of an impact on geniuses, but it had a huge impact on the older ones. It was easy for them to be corrupted by desire, and they might even fall into some fantasies. There were some fellows who were blinded by desire the moment they entered the Sea of Desire Plain, directly killing themselves. Chui Lang of the Great Ming Mansion. He could not help but laugh. He sent a voice transmission to Niu Baidao. That cheap disciple of yours better not come out of seclusion. He would probably collapse after coming out of seclusion. Suyu helped you kill your way to the 18th place on the profound list. Isn't that exciting? In a little while, you might be a genius on the Earth roll. There aren't many geniuses on the Earth roll in the myriad realms. Chui Lang has really made a name for himself in the myriad realms this time. The truth was just as Zhu Tiandao had expected. On the Yueshin Island. Niu Bendao thought for a moment, and in the end, he found Chui Lang, who was in closed-door cultivation. Zhen Chui Lang gave a brief introduction of the situation. He comforted him, don't go out until Su Yu's identity is exposed. Go out. Now that you're on the profound list, your ranking in the myriad clans sect has probably risen as well. You, Chui Lang, might be worth a few 100,000 merit points now. Be careful not to be assassinated. Chui Lang was speechless and a little stupefied. After a long while, he suddenly said, Principal, I hate you. Niu Bendao was speechless. Why do you hate me? It's not like I forced you to lend your identity to others. You were the one who happily lent it to Suyu. What's the use of you hating me now? Niu Bendao comforted him, it's fine. Isn't it just an Earth rank weapon forging division? Isn't it just the 18th rank on the profound list? With Su Yu's behavior, his identity will definitely be exposed in less than half a year. When that time comes, it will have nothing to do with you. Of course, you'll also earn a reputation. At least the human realm and the myriad clans in the heavens will know that there's a Chui Lang. It's nothing. Since his identity has been exposed, the others will naturally look for Su Yu. They won't look for you. Don't be afraid. Chui Lang gritted his teeth and said, Principal, when the time comes, even if I go out in person, everyone will have to suspect that Su Yu isn't faking it, right? That seemed to be the case. He would rather kill the wrong person than let them off. Regardless of whether it was the real Chui Lang or the fake Chui Lang, it was possible that it was Su Yu. Even if he killed him, he wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Niu Bendao consoled, it's fine. You won't be leaving Daming Manor much anyway. You just need to avoid going to the heavenly battlefield. He was trying to comfort him without any sincerity. Chui Lang was depressed. I'm dumbfounded. He actually lent his identity to Su Yu. This guy is really more flirtatious than me. Why don't I just change my name to Su Lang? However, thinking about it carefully, he felt a little happy. At least, now that all the clans know my name, it's a little dangerous. Isn't this making a name for myself? Don't people spend their whole lives just for sex, fame, and benefits? Now that I have my name, what else is there to be afraid of? Chui Lang comforted himself for a while. It's nothing, I'll continue my closed-door cultivation. It's okay, I'm not afraid. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1588. 1588 Chapter 361 Cast a Body First 4. The Daming Mansion and the Great Xia Mansion sent people to rescue him, but Su Yu did not know about this. At this moment, he had completely entered the heaven-breaking valley. In any case, he was not too anxious. Once he entered the heaven-breaking valley, streams of saber chi floated around him, as if they had come to life. Su Yu did not feel too much pressure. Instead, he felt a little relaxed. These saber chi were very close to him. Heaven-cleaving blade operation. 144 acupoints exploded. Su Yu also had his own saber chi. It was not weak, but very strong. The saber chi that belonged to the great Xia Emperor surrounded him. It seemed to merge with his own saber chi. When the two saber chi collided, Su Yu's body trembled. It was very cool. Su Yu felt it for a moment. With a thought, the next moment, the Heaven Yuan Qi appeared and revolved around him. He began to use the saber chi to cast his body. And in his sea of will, he was still absorbing the remnant of the divine script. The changing word divine script had the tendency to advance. As expected, in the heavenly battlefield, it felt easier to advance. The saber chi cast body. Su Yu did not absorb the great Xia Emperor's saber chi either. It felt even better to cast his body. More and more saber chi surrounded him. There were also some unique insights. Sharp. Indomitable. Kill. All sorts of insights appeared in his mind. This was the belief left behind by the great Xia Emperor in the past. His saber chi was like this, killing his opponent and his target. Even though he couldn't do it, the belief that this saber chi carried wasn't fake. The blade energy in Heaven Break Valley didn't dissipate. Su Yu suspected that it might have something to do with not killing that person. There was also some unwillingness and resentment in the blade energy. Su Yu could clearly feel it. Not being able to kill his opponent, after this slash, the great Xia King was filled with regret and unwillingness. He didn't know which top-tier expert had been slashed by the great Xia King. There was a high chance that he would be heavily injured even if he didn't die. There was another power mixed in with this heaven-breaking valley. It had a somewhat sacred aura. An expert of the Protoss race. Su Yu's eyes moved slightly. An expert of the Protoss race. In the next moment, he withdrew his saber chi and suddenly started to circulate the Protoss race's cultivation technique. The cultivation technique of the primitive Protoss race. As soon as this cultivation technique was circulated, with a rumble, the saber chi exploded, and blood quickly appeared on Su Yu's body. However, at this moment, a sacred power exploded and instantly healed these injuries. What wanted to kill him was the great Xia King's saber chi, but what healed him was that divine power, which might have come from the primordial divine race. Only the invincible primordial divine race could fight the great Xia King to such an extent. They were not killed and even made the great Xia King retreat regretfully. Su Yu experienced it for a moment and was instantly overjoyed. Although the great Xia King's saber chi was very terrifying and injured him in an instant, the divine power was not weak either. It quickly helped him repair his body. It feels great. I feel great when I cast my body like this. Su Yu seemed to have discovered a treasure and was instantly overjoyed. The saber chi tempered his body, the divine power repaired it, and devoured the heaven yuan qi. He felt that cultivating here was definitely much faster than cultivating outside. This time, Suyu no longer hesitated. He activated the celestial race's cultivation technique. If the saber qi was too fierce, he would activate the heaven-splitting blade. In this way, he wasn't afraid of killing himself. Very good. This is the place I need to look for. Here, perhaps I can complete the body forging multiple times. I won't leave. Whoever comes, I won't leave either. As Suyu walked forward, he cultivated. He also looked for Huangteng and the others. Huangteng also cultivated the heaven-splitting blade. Suyu could faintly sense that that fellow was in a nearby area. At the same time, Huangteng frowned slightly and looked behind him. He said in a strange manner, "Someone came in from behind." Is it very strange? Wu Qi was indifferent. It would be strange if no one came in. Did he really think that those fellows would let him off? No. Huangting chuckled and said, "I mean, it's a little strange. I feel that the person who came in seems to be drawing the knife qi in this place. Could it be that he also knows the heaven-cleaving knife? But there aren't many people in the Heaven-Cleaving Knife Association. The Xia family is here. Xia Yuan. Otherwise, the Xia family was either too strong or too weak, or someone from outside the Xia family was here. He was curious. Of course, even if this person knew how to use the heaven-splitting saber, he also felt that it was a little strange. In a while, the saber chi here converged in that direction as if they were close. In a while, another force converged in that direction. He didn't know what was going on. The saber chi also seemed to be repelling. Strange guy. A member of the celestial race? Or was it something else? At this moment, even Huangteng couldn't make an accurate judgment. He quickly said, "Continue moving forward. Don't stay in one place for too long. Find a weak point and be ready to kill your way out at any time." Wu Qi nodded. He also felt a little strange as he said, "You said that the person here knows how to use the heaven-splitting blade. That seems to be true, but it's not. Moreover, if he really knows how to use it, the heaven-splitting blade energy in this place is the blade energy of the great Xia Emperor. If he learns the heaven-splitting blade, it won't be able to resonate with him unless it's a top-tier version. The number of top-tier heaven-splitting blades that the Xia family has passed down isn't that many, right?" Huangteng wasn't too clear about the situation either. Who had inherited the heaven-cleaving saber and who had obtained the top-tier inheritance? In any case, what he had learned was to open 144 apertures. It was said that the heaven-cleaving saber that the current great Xia Emperor had studied was no longer 144 apertures. No one knew if there were any god-tier cultivation techniques that had appeared. Top-tier heaven-cleaving saber. Wu Qi thought for a moment and shook his head. However, he quickly thought of someone and said with a faint smile, "I'm not sure about others, but I do know someone who can." "Who?" "Suyu." "Him." Huangting thought for a moment and nodded. He said with a smile, "I've never seen him before, but I've heard of him. He's an awesome person. He's Bai Feng's student and also comes from a commoner's family. I was wondering if he would kill me if he saw me one day. After all, I've beaten Bai Feng up 3 times. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1589. 1589 Chapter 361, Casting a Body. Asks for a subscription, 5. Wu Qi was too lazy to answer. Ask Suyu about this. Suyu. He probably wouldn't dare to come here. Huangting said with a smile, others might not say, but Chui Lang of Daming Manor, what do you think is the situation? Just now, the sub-ranking shook. He checked it and found that Hong Jia was dead. Chui Lang of the Great Ming Mansion had entered the 18th place of the Profound Board. It was strange. He did not believe it. When he saw the killing azure armor, he did not believe it either. At this moment, he vaguely thought of something. Cui Lang, Su Yu, the great Ming mansion, the heaven-splitting blade. He mumbled and asked, Wu Qi, how long ago did the ranking board change? Half an hour ago. Half an hour. Around that time, I noticed that there was something strange about the blade aura in Heaven-Breaking Valley. Huang Ting mumbled, after Cui Lang killed Red Armor, there was a guy who knew how to use the heaven-splitting blade here. Cui Lang killed Red Armor. If he killed him nearby and took the opportunity to escape here, then, the person who knew how to use the heaven-splitting blade was Cui Lang? Wu Qi's eyes flickered. Cui Lang. Huang Ting nodded slightly. Otherwise, it's too coincidental. Right after Red Armor died and Cui Lang killed his way into the 18th rank of the Profound list, an expert who knows how to use the heaven-splitting blade appeared here. Do you think there's anyone else besides him? Then, he said, is Cui Lang familiar with the Great Xia mansion? Will the Xia family inherit his top-notch heaven-splitting blade? No. Wu Qi thought to herself, no matter how much the Xia family's heaven-splitting blade was spread, they would not spread it around like cabbages. Even Cui Lang could learn it. Weapon Forging Master. Huang Ting turned to look at her and said, you told me before that Su Yu and Zhao Li are close. Wu Qi nodded. And this Cui Lang is good at hammer techniques. It seems to be Zhao Li's expanding spirit technique. Wu Qi nodded his head once more. Frowning slightly, he said, you mean? I'm just making a guess. Huang Ting smiled, I'm just curious. Has his talent really reached such a level? It's been a year since he entered the academy. A year ago, he was still Kaiyuan. A year later, he managed to enter the Profound board. No, if it's true, it's the Earth roll. Wu Qi did not know what to say. After a long while, she said in a deep voice, don't make wild guesses. I'm panicking. Impossible. How could that kid improve so quickly? I don't believe it. Cui Lang is Cui Lang, and Su Yu is Su Yu. They are definitely not the same person. Just a few months ago, she went to Daming Civilization University and warned Su Yu. She told him to treat his sister better, or else she would beat him to death. She turned around and told him that the person who was stronger than him was Cui Lang. I don't believe it and I won't accept it. Wild guesses. Huang Ting pretended to be smart, but it was all nonsense. Don't you want Cui Lang to be stronger? Are you jealous of Cui Lang? Huang Ting shrugged. It was just a guess. It wasn't against the law, but there were indeed many suspicious points. Since they were going to meet, they would naturally know. Wu Qi was also depressed. She said in a low voice, then should we meet up with him? No. Huang Ting shook his head and said, we're not sure who's coming. We're not sure of his identity and strength. Don't meet up. If we're weak, we'll easily drag him down. If we're strong, we'll easily drag him down. Here, do your own thing. Unless we're forced together, let's see if we can cooperate. You're also an old man on the battlefield. Don't make such a mistake. Wu Qi couldn't be bothered with him. You said it was Su Yu, so I thought we should meet up. If it wasn't for Su Yu, she wouldn't have bothered to meet up with others. It wasn't good to drag others down, and it wasn't good to drag herself down either. If your guess is true, then he's probably here to save me. Huang Ting looked at her in surprise. You want both master and disciple. Boom. An ice blade slashed across Huang Ting's face, causing his face to turn red and purple. Wu Qi looked at him coldly. Huang Ting was speechless. You said it yourself. He actually came here to save you. I thought that I was the only one in the world who would come. This is going to cost me my life. He came to save you. It's too complicated. Did Bai Feng want to have sex with you back then? Wu Qi looked at him coldly. Dirty. How is it dirty? Huang Teng was depressed. You said it yourself, not me. If he came here, it's also because of my sister. Eat all sisters. Huang Teng's mouth was wide open. Shuangwu acupoint technique, you two sisters. Didn't you say that one of you is his senior sister? Shut your mouth. Wu Qi let out a low growl and did not say another word. She did not want to talk to this shameless person anymore. Huang Teng became even more depressed. You said it yourself, but I completely explained it according to what you said. You even lost your temper. Women are really difficult to deal with. Also, was it really Su Yu who came? To be honest, he did not really believe this guess, but he had a vague feeling that the other party knew how to use the heaven-splitting blade. If it was not Su Yu, could it be that Cui Lang really knew the top heaven-splitting blade of the Great Xia Mansion? Huang Teng was guessing while Su Yu was certain that Huang Teng was right in front of him. Has this fellow sensed me? He's still running, does he not want to meet up with me? Su Yu thought about it and did not mind. He could not be bothered to save you. Whatever, I'll cast my body first. I'm about to cast 13. Let's talk after I'm done casting. If you die before I'm done, don't blame me for not saving you. The next moment, Su Yu turned into a golden shadow and disappeared from where he was. On one side of the canyon, there was a broken golden blade. The gold spirit race's gold transformation. Many people had died in this place, and there were also some broken items left in the canyon, as well as some bones. He was much more relaxed than Huang Teng. In his current situation, with the breath-concealing technique combined with the Yin word divine script, the change word divine script. Along with the quiet word divine script, there were really not many people who could discover him. First cast a body, then we'll talk. The others would come in and kill those who passed by. In terms of strength, he might not be able to win against Huang Teng. In terms of survivability, Huang Teng should just go to one side. If he didn't join me, I would be eager to relax. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1590. 1590 Chapter 362 I'm Thinking of You, LRB Subscribe, 1. Outside the Heaven Break Valley. Tendo observed for a while more before looking at Morba and the others. He said indifferently, we have to go in. The longer we delay, the more Huang Teng and the others will recover. The humans might send reinforcements. The longer we delay, the more dangerous it will be. The few demon race geniuses nodded. Indeed, there was no time to lose. Morba's gaze was cold and stern. He glanced at the distant race geniuses and said in a low voice, where are these guys? They will enter. Tian Duo said indifferently, they are all geniuses and want a share of the spoils. They all feel that they will not die. Huang Teng is heavily injured and killing Huang Teng might allow their strength to improve greatly. No one will give up this opportunity. Geniuses understood geniuses. They all felt that they were the children of fate. They all wanted to make a name for themselves in the world and become invincible in the Tao. Those who did not have such thoughts could not be considered geniuses. Since that was the case, as long as the demon race entered, the others would quickly follow. As for the invincible Saber Chi, after all, so many years had passed. Although these people were worried, they still had some tricks up their sleeves. Tian Duo said again, if we wait any longer, some of the geniuses of the human race will rush over. If Qin Fang and the others come, although they are not afraid, it will easily cause chaos and allow Huang Teng and the others to escape. Get down. Tian Duo no longer waited. In fact, he wasn't waiting for nothing. He was thinking of a way to solve the problem of the Saber Chi. Now, this problem had been solved. The few demon geniuses didn't say much. Soon, a group of demons entered the heaven-breaking valley from a weak point of the Saber Chi. In the distance, a few celestial geniuses and some small clan geniuses gathered around Mintian. After seeing Tian Duo and the others enter, Mintian looked around and quickly said, "Enter from the north." The demons entered the Heaven Break Valley from the south, so they entered from the north. They attacked from both sides to see who would kill Huangting first. A group of celestial race experts also quickly flew to the north, preparing to enter the Heaven Break Valley from the north. After they left, many figures appeared on the spot. There were living beings hovering in the air, transmitting their voices in all directions. They said coldly, "Everyone, the gods and demons are attacking the human race's Huangtang. Are you interested in joining in? Mintian and Tian Duo are not weak. Be careful not to be tricked by them. Long Zhan, do you want to go in?" Someone asked about the heavenly dragon race's Long Zhan. Long Zhan glanced at the Great Rift Valley and ignored the others. Beside him, the little golden dragon was flying in the air. He did not ask Long Zhan's opinion. All of a sudden, he burrowed into the heaven-breaking valley. Long Zhan's white eyebrows rose slightly. This fellow from the golden dragon race was quite brave. And Min Tian was now very hostile towards him. He was careful that he would be killed by Min Tian. As he thought about this, Long Zhan revealed a smile and quickly disappeared from where he was. Above the heaven-breaking valley, the saber chi fluctuated and Long Zhan entered. The experts of the three great clans of the God, Devil, and Dragon clan had all entered. In the next moment, saber chi fluctuated from all over the place and another person entered. In a forest not far from Heaven Break Valley. On the crown of a huge tree, there were a few figures floating faintly. There were men and women, and they were all very young. When the dragon race's Long Zhan entered Heaven Break Valley, the light in the eyes of a young woman faded. She said with a chuckle, "Interesting. The gods, demons, and monsters have all entered. From the looks of it, the human race is in great trouble this time. I wonder who the great Xia Manor will send to rescue them." Beside the woman, there was a long-haired young man. He was full of immortal chi and had an outstanding bearing. At this moment, he was also looking in the direction of Heaven Break Valley. Hearing this, he smiled faintly and said, "Zhou Xian, do you think Huangting will die?" The woman was also known as Zhou Xian. Chuckling softly, he said, "Then I don't know. The geniuses of the humans are heavily nurtured by the great Xia Manor. They definitely have some ability. Huangtang is very famous among the humans. I don't think he will be killed so easily." The long-haired young man nodded slightly. He won't die so easily. Since Huangtang has come to the Heaven Break Valley, he has some confidence in surviving. After saying that, he said meaningfully, "However, if someone ambushed them on the path that the Heaven Break Valley must pass through to return to the East Break Valley, it's hard to say." Zhou Xian smiled gently and said, "Brother Dao Cheng, we are allies with the human race. Don't act recklessly." "Of course." The long-haired young man smiled and said, "The human race is in great danger. They still need our help. Why would we make things difficult for them?" After saying that, he chuckled and threw a jade talisman into the void. It disappeared. Zhou Xian looked at him and smiled. "Brother Dao Cheng, this is. That Chui Lang killed 2 geniuses of the Black Armor clan. The Black Armor clan will not let this go. Unfortunately, there are too many geniuses here. The experts of the Black Armor clan might not be able to make it here. However, let's find a place with no people and wait for a while. Maybe we'll have a surprise." The more geniuses there were, the more they would reject the experts. Even if the Black Armor clan wanted to take revenge, they might be lost in the Sea of Desire Plain. If they didn't take this place as their target and found a place to pass through, they would be much safer. Zhou Xian smiled brightly. "Brother Dao Cheng, you didn't make a mistake, did you?" The long-haired young man said calmly, "There are only 3 routes for the Heavenly Break Valley to return to the human territory. They are the safest and fastest. They don't need to pass through some dangerous places and have the least chance of encountering their opponents. What if they don't return? Jiu Xian deliberately questioned, what if they choose to continue to go west, all the way to the west? To the west? Dao Qing smiled, not a sound. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1591. 1591 Chapter 362 I'm Thinking of You, LRB, Subscription 2. Heading west meant that he was really courting death. To the west, there was a heaven-destroying city. The pathway of the Mystic Suit clan seemed to be nearby. Besides, the ancient cities were extremely dangerous to begin with. Besides, they would have to enter the headquarters of the demon race if they were to go further west. If they wanted to survive, the heaven-breaking valley was the limit. For example, very few of them would sneak into the east of the East Rift Valley. Most of the people who had gone there had been killed. Only a few had escaped. Jiu Xian didn't argue with him. He continued with a gentle smile, Brother Dao Qing, can you tell anything about Chui Lang? He wasn't famous before, but he suddenly appeared. Is there any mystery behind it? Chui Lang. Dao Qing pondered for a while and said, let me make a divination. This person suddenly became famous. Maybe we need to pay attention to him. As he finished speaking, a few divine runes floated in his hand and were arranged in a certain order. Dao Qing's image of Chui Lang appeared in his mind. This was also what he looked like on the heaven hunting list. He quickly moved the divine runes and streams of willpower surged into the divine runes. Jiu Xian stared at the divine runes. Around him, a few other immortals also looked over with curiosity and anticipation. Dao Qing's divination skills were quite good. Even in the immortal world, he was the best of his generation. A few divine runes combined to form a water wave mirror. Gradually, Chui Lang's appearance appeared. Women. Beside Chui Lang, there were countless women. The scene flashed past. The few of them frowned. Jiu Xian couldn't help but laugh and didn't say a word. Dao Qing also shook his head slightly. However, he felt that it was a bit strenuous. Was it because they were in the Sea of Desire Plain? The next moment, the water rippled slightly, and another scene appeared. There was one more person in front of Chui Lang, and his figure was somewhat illusory. A man. Jiu Xian teased. It had always been a woman, but a man suddenly appeared. It was very interesting. Just as he was thinking, with a rumble, the scene exploded. Dao Qing took a few steps back, raised his eyebrows, and said with a smile, it seems that a powerful existence has covered up for him. Perhaps he was prepared in advance. The Daming Manor has also produced an interesting fellow. He didn't see too many things, but he saw women. There were countless women. This could work. Dao Qing shook his head. Could such a person really go far? Perhaps it was just a flash in the pan. And at this moment. Human realm. Yueshin Island. Niu Baidao raised his head to look at the sky inside. Damn it. This kid had indeed attracted some attention. His divination technique wasn't weak, and he could even see through the heavens. However, he didn't seem too strong. After thinking for a while, he muttered, a fellow from the immortal race. A fellow from the divination realm, a mountain and sea realm. It should not be too strong. If the sun and moon were truly invincible, he would not be able to block them. If it was the sun and moon, it would be a little difficult. In the end, he did not expend much energy and managed to break through the prying eyes. Troublesome. Shaking his head once again, Niu Baidao was also depressed. Didn't they say that they would go to the ruins to get something? Damn you, your ruins are on the battlefield of the heavens. I believe you. Celestial race. Hee hee. After scolding Su Yu for a while, Niu Baidao sneered. He should be a member of the celestial race, right? There were many races that knew divination techniques. However, penetrating the heavens wasn't something that could be done by just any race. True Chui Lang was in the human realm, which was different from the heavenly battlefield. I wonder if I saw anything. Niu Baidao stroked his beard. He didn't know what kind of divination technique the other party was using. It would be better if the technique was directed at one's heart. However, it would be a bit troublesome if the technique was aimed at one's heart. He had to stir up the qi dynamics. Thinking of this, Niu Baidao waved his hand. A huge formation appeared on the Yuexin Island, covering the sky and the sun. In an instant, the Yuexin Island turned dark. After a while, the formation disappeared and the Yuexin Island returned to normal. He even provoked the immortals. Niu Baidao murmured again. If this kid really met them, he could kill them, but he must not kill them like he killed the black-armored race. It would be extremely troublesome. To kill the immortals, they had to kill them in secret. The humans and the immortals did the same thing. At least, the two sides were still in an alliance. They were fighting against the powerful celestials and demons together. Once they fell out, these fellows who were openly quarreling would not have a good ending. I hope you can understand this logic. Niu Baidao sat cross-legged, the sun and moon revolving in his eyes. He no longer cared about Su Yu, nor could he. At this moment, he looked towards the north. That was the Great Xia Manor, and the polytheistic college was about to begin. And the chaos was about to begin. That brat, it's good to stay a little longer in the heavenly battlefield. I'm just afraid that he'll stir up trouble. If he can cultivate there peacefully, it'll be safer. Shaking his head, Niu Baidao was also speechless. If he cultivated there peacefully, the effect would actually be quite good. What he was afraid of was that the other party would be restless. In the heaven-shattering valley, Su Yu, who had transformed into a broken sword, once again, in his sea of consciousness, the tribulation word trembled weakly. This meant that the danger wasn't too great. However, there was some danger. What was the situation? Su Yu was somewhat puzzled. This time, the pulsation was very inexplicable. He waited for a while, but he still didn't find any danger. Is it broken? Of course, Su Yu felt that it was impossible. This meant that in that instant just now, something related to him must have happened, and it might cause some danger to him. Forget it, I won't think about it anymore. He had no choice but to be more careful since he did not have any clues or thoughts. Heaven Yuan Qi revolved around the broken sword. Heaven-opening saber qi and divine power were colliding. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1592. 1592 Chapter 362 I was thinking of you 3. 13 Casting, almost finished. This place was really suitable for casting bodies. And at this moment, Su Yu suddenly restrained all the fluctuations. The golden color on the broken sword disappeared, like a rotten broken sword that was thrown to the side. Nearby, there were a few white bones and some broken weapons. It was not eye-catching. After a moment, a shadow suddenly appeared in the canyon silently. It was not a shadow, but a special skill. Su Yu made a judgment. He was familiar with the shadow race. Sure enough, the next moment, the shadow appeared. It was not in the shape of a human, but a large insect that looked like a locust. Dark locust. Su Yu quickly thought of something. This was a branch of the locust race. It also had the power of invisibility. However, this race did not have an invincible leader, so it was not considered a large race. How dare a tribe without an invincible leader get involved? They were looking for death. Their strength is not bad. They are at the 5th or 6th level of Ling Yun. However, their strength was not considered too strong here. The dark locust's figure appeared. The antennae on its head scanned its surroundings. Its protruding eyes scanned Su Yu's direction, and it was slightly puzzled. Very quickly, it stopped probing and quickly turned into a dark shadow and disappeared. Su Yu did not continue cultivating. He waited in silence for a while. The light spot in the sensing jade did not disappear. It remained silent. About 7 or 8 minutes later, after a long time, a shadow appeared again underground. The dark locust extended its antennae again and scanned the area around Su Yu. There was nothing unusual. The dark locust appeared again, and a strange look appeared in its eyes. Nothing. Could it be a treasure? It looked at the scattered bones. Previously, it had sensed some unusual fluctuations, but when it arrived, it did not notice it. Thinking of this, the dark locust suddenly used its own limbs to chop down. With a bang, the bones were completely shattered by it. This time, the dark locust was much more at ease. It wasn't a living creature hiding and pretending to be white bones. Fortunately. At this moment, it barely felt at ease and jumped towards Su Yu's direction. The broken sword that Su Yu had transformed into was also sent flying by this attack, and the broken sword floated in the air. Just as the dark locust felt at ease, it suddenly felt a sense of danger. This feeling disappeared in a flash. And at this moment, the broken sword merged into a divine literature battle technique. More than 20 divine literature instantly formed a long sword battle technique, and with a poochie sound, it pierced through the dark locust's head. Divine literature battle technique. The divine literature battle technique, which was formed from multiple tier 4 divine literature, instantly shattered the sea of consciousness of the dark locust. In the next moment, the corpse of the dark locust fell to the ground. Su Yu transformed into human form and reached out with one hand. With a poochie sound, he pierced through the head of the dark locust. The blood-type divine literature exploded, and a large amount of green blood was absorbed by him, instantly merging into 10 drops of blood essence. Su Yu thought for a moment and looked at its limbs. Perhaps they could be used to refine artifacts, so he might as well put them away. He quickly put away the other party's corpse, and very quickly, Su Yu disappeared from where he was. This fellow was not some genius of the heaven-hunting role. It was easy to kill him. Geniuses of the heaven-hunting role were not cabbages. They were everywhere. After all, there were only so many of them. However, even if they were not on the heaven-hunting role, just from the other party's appearance just now, they were extremely vigilant. Su Yu had concealed himself well enough because of his previous cultivation. There were some fluctuations that the other party actually felt. There are so many geniuses from the myriad clans. Su Yu sighed emotionally as he shifted the location. A small clan like the Locust clan did not have an invincible clan to oversee them. Yet, a fellow that came out was actually so strong. Even though he had killed the other party with one strike, it did not mean that the other party was weak. Starry Mansion. Su Yu was thinking of a problem. In the past, the humans in the Starry Mansion were usually at the Lingyun realm. Bai Feng and the others who were high in the sky were all fighting for a spot back then. This meant that it was not enough for them to soar in the sky. Lingyun was the main force, and there were a few people who were soaring. In the past, Su Yu thought that Lingyun was very strong. But now, weren't these guys going to deliver vegetables? Would the gods and demons go to the mountains and seas? Also, Swan and I, that guy, went to the 9th level of the soaring realm and came out alive. Was this Starry Mansion safe or dangerous? Thinking about this, Su Yu did not think anymore. In the next moment, he turned into a broken sword again and fell into a battle ruin. The 5 elements race, Su Yu now felt that they were really quite powerful. The 5 elements escape art was very strong, and their innate skill was also very strong. Their invisibility ability was very powerful. Of course, the prerequisite was that they had many special divine texts. Suyu had used quite a lot of divine texts, in addition to the rotary turtle race's breath-concealing technique, to be able to hide so well. All of you are harassing me. Cast your bodies for me. I can't be bothered with you guys. Suyu was too lazy to go out and hunt anyone. He'd better cast his body first. After a few more hours, the broken sword that Suyu had transformed into instantly exploded with a golden glow. Boom! The surrounding rocks shattered. Suyu quickly fled and disappeared from his original spot. 13 had been cast. Not long after he left, the ground beneath him shook. In the next moment, a native's head popped out. He looked at the place where a pit had exploded and was somewhat puzzled. A member of the Five Elements clan? He's from the same clan as me. I didn't see anyone from the same clan, of course, that waterman wasn't counted. That fellow was just a troublemaker. Now that he didn't know where he was hiding, he treated it as if he didn't know him and had never seen that fellow before. The floating earth spirit looked around, but he didn't find anything, so he quickly disappeared as well. Just as he disappeared, a nimble figure stepped into the area. The moment this figure landed, the ground seemed to tremble. In an instant, the ground turned into huge hands that instantly caught the golden leopard that had just landed. The huge hands wrapped around the cheetah, and in the next moment, an earth spike appeared from the huge hands. You're tuning into the Han Lee's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1593. 1593 Chapter 362 I was thinking of you for. With a PFFT, it pierced through the cheetah's abdomen. Roar! The cheetah roared and cried out in pain, floating earth spirit. You dare! With a bang, the cheetah exploded. The large hands around disappeared, and the ground returned to its original state. The floating earth spirit appeared and turned into a ball of mud, instantly enveloping the cheetah and swallowing it. It sighed with emotion, the taste is not bad. With a laugh, the floating earth spirit disappeared again. There were not many good people among the experts on the heaven hunting list. They would kill one while they were at it. The floating earth spirit disappeared on the spot. After a period of time, a rockman walked over. He stepped on the ground and sensed for a moment. He said sullenly, "Floating earth spirit. Did this guy treat this place as a feast?" The rockman shook his head. With a stomp, some of the traps on the ground were instantly shattered. The floating earth spirit, who had already left into the distance, suddenly had a thought. He cursed inwardly. It was that stone head. Troublesome. This fellow was very difficult to deal with, especially when he met him. There was a high chance that he would not be a match for him. He had some restraint, and the waterman was not around, otherwise, he would be able to restrain himself a little when dealing with the stone head. Forget it. That water spirit fellow is even more troublesome. The floating earth spirit swiftly escaped and did not interact with the stone head. The stone man was also considered a variant of the Five Elements race, but the other party did not admit it. There was no other reason. The ancestor of the stone man race had broken through to the invincible realm and occupied a large expanse cosmos. He formed his own race and did not interact with the Five Elements race. The earth spirit was also restrained a little, and the other party was even more unwilling to serve as a foil to the Five Elements race. They had long separated. At this moment, slaughter was everywhere in Heaven Break Valley. Some geniuses who weren't on the heaven hunting list were constantly being hunted down. Gradually, some geniuses sensed that something was wrong, and some began to withdraw. At this moment, Suyu couldn't be bothered with these things. He continued to cultivate in another place. The rewards from killing people weren't as fast as cultivating. Giving heaven origin chi was the most trashy thing. Killing the weak gave heaven yuan chi as rewards. Suyu could only say that the rules of heaven and earth in the heavenly battlefield were too stingy. Also, the divine runes were not given to humans. It was meaningless. Of course, if they really gave it and it was destroyed, it would be a large amount of divine runes and willpower. In fact, it was not bad. At the very least, it was stronger than Heaven Yuan Qi. Heaven Yuan Qi was truly terrible. Su Yu was the only one who said this. To others, even the sun and moon, Heaven Yuan Qi was very useful. It did not matter if it was awakening, casting a body, strengthening the body, repairing the body. Heaven Yuan Qi was a treasure. However, Su Yu was able to extract it, so he naturally felt that it was useless. Killing a genius would sometimes cause the boat to capsize. It was better to buy some blood essence to extract it. Of course, under the constant killing, Su Yu's kill and fight divine runes had signs of advancing. The quiet divine runes that were used the most also showed the same trend. Of the 5 elements divine runes, the fire divine runes had advanced. The other 4 had some enhancements. In this kind of environment, it was very exciting. The excitement, the feeling of being on the brink of death, seemed to make Su Yu return to the dream he had when he was young. If he was not careful, he would be killed. The slaughter was everywhere. In the Heaven Break Valley, small clouds of heaven and earth rewards kept appearing. Every time they appeared, it was a fixed location. Very quickly, someone knew that someone had died in that place. A genius had obtained the reward, and that genius would become the prey of even more people. Huang Tang and Wu Qi were not dead yet, but a bunch of geniuses from other races had died. The 10,000 races did not lack geniuses. Each race had a few generations, and that was tens of thousands of geniuses. Only those who could grow in adversity, obtain great benefits, and become stronger step by step were true geniuses. This was also the method of raising gu in many clans. The heavenly battlefield was originally a place to raise gu. The strong would always be strong. Rumble. A loud sound rang out in the heaven-breaking valley. Huang Ting coughed up blood, grabbed Wu Qi's hair, and dragged her away. Wu Qi didn't say anything or cry out in pain. At this moment, blood was flowing out of her chest, and her face was pale. However, she didn't give up. Just as Huang Ting dragged her away, Wu Qi let out a low growl, and a thin sword appeared above her head. With a poochie sound, it pierced through the void. A 7th-level Ling Yun realm expert who had just caught up was instantly pierced through by this sword. However, the burly man sneered, and the gap in his body instantly closed. Wu Qi, is this all you can do? Wu Qi didn't say a word. At this moment, the burly man's expression changed. In the next moment, he turned into a puddle of corpse water and completely rotted. Only then did Wu Qi let out a sigh of relief. He pushed Huang Ting's hand away and staggered. He grabbed Huang Ting's arm and shouted, "Let's go, what are you looking at?" Huang Ting was speechless and quickly fled. As he ran, he said, "You're really ruthless. This is the poison of a literary soldier. Aren't you afraid of poisoning yourself to death?" As he spoke, without waiting for Wu Qi's reply, he hurriedly said, "How about giving me some of this poison? It's so powerful." It was really powerful. Wu Qi ignored him. Instead, he frowned and said, "This fellow's strength is average. Let's kill another one and see if we can get some heaven and earth rewards to help me recover some of my injuries. Then there's nothing to wait for. Let's run first. There are experts chasing after us from behind." Huang Ting didn't say much. There was a reason for him to run. There were experts chasing after him from behind. As for Wu Qi killing the other party with a single sword, no, poisoning the other party to death, he was still a little afraid. He couldn't help but ask again, "You didn't poison me too, right? This poison, is it yours, or is it your grandaunt's?" "Shut up." Wu Qi was very annoyed. If he wanted to run, he should run. He really spoke too much nonsense. Huang Ting instantly shut up. He sped up and quickly fled. There were also some small cracks in the Grand Canyon. These cracks led to other cracks. The Sky Break Valley also had the shape of an underground maze. Of course, no matter what, it would eventually converge into a straight line, a huge rift valley. After they fled for a while, Tian Duo brought some people to chase after them. They took a look at the pool of green water underground. He said coldly, "What a poisonous medicinal effect. Everyone, be careful. You have underestimated Wuxia. I don't know if this poison is hers or if she got it from Wu Yuehua." Wu Yuehua was a top-notch alchemist and her poison-making skills were very strong. However, if she used poison, it would be easy for outsiders to poison her to death. Tendo gave a warning and quickly brought the others to continue chasing after them. They wouldn't be able to escape. Heaven's Break Valley was a dead end. What he needed to guard against was Huang Ting drawing the saber chi from this place before he died. He didn't need to worry too much about anything else. Su Yu heard the loud noise as well. Of course, it wasn't just this time. The Heaven's Break Valley was in a mess right now, so he didn't get involved. He continued to cultivate his own body. It was so fragrant. When the saber chi and divine energy were no longer of much use to him, he would consider hunting down the 10,000 clans. 14 casting, one day should be enough. Such a good place could not be wasted. If he went out, 10 days to half a month was too slow. How could it be as good as here? After one day, he would probably be able to cast 14. After casting 14, his physical strength would reach about 7,000 apertures. In addition to the young apertures and the strength word divine text, it would be comparable to the physical bodies of some fiend god experts. Even if there was a gap, it would not be so big. It's just that there are too many people, and I'm constantly being harassed. I can't cultivate properly. I really want to kill all of them and then cultivate peacefully. Su Yu sighed. It would be good if he could kill all of them. Of course, the best way was to capture the great Xia King and the invincible deity who was fighting against him, and let them take action personally to provide him with strength to temper his body. This idea flashed through his mind, and he couldn't let his imagination run wild. At this moment, at the edge of the god realm, a big man who was wandering in the void frowned slightly. Who was thinking about me? And it wasn't a good thing. That fat kid from my family? He should be thinking about me in places related to me, and he should be thinking about those malicious thoughts. Therefore, even though there were countless distances between them, he could still faintly sense it. At the same time, at this moment, an invincible expert of the primitive god clan who was in seclusion opened his eyes slightly. Looking at the endless void, which one of them wanted to die and think of something that was disadvantageous to them? It was a faint feeling, but it did exist. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1594. 1594 Chapter 363, Rising Stars 1. F***CK. Do you still want to give me peace of mind to cultivate? At this moment, Su Yu was very angry. Not far from him, two guys put on a big show. The first one, the lion head, had been lying in ambush at the edge of the valley for a few hours. The last one, perhaps he thought that this place was easy to ambush, he had also been lying in ambush for half an hour. The lion head that came first had been moving slowly for over 10 minutes just to get closer to the big rabbit that came later. Are you two done yet? With them here, so you couldn't cultivate properly anymore. The two guys that had just entered Ling Yun's territory, what was there to ambush? One look and one could tell that they were weak. Ling Yun wasn't weak, but he didn't even look where he was. This was Heaven's End Valley. A group of geniuses had come over. What were the two of them waiting for? Who were they ambushing? Su Yu was getting impatient. Without a sound, the broken sword floated to the side of the lion head. The lion head was now carefully moving inch by inch towards the rabbit head. Both sides were about 10 meters away. From the looks of it, the lion head was planning to ambush him. No matter how close he got, he wouldn't be able to hide it. He was really patient. Suyu actually quite admired these fellows from the small clans. In order to strengthen himself, he had enough patience and courage. However, he lacked sufficient strength. It was a pity. If one were to talk about this concealment ability, it wasn't considered weak. However, in Suyu's eyes, it really wasn't enough. Moreover, he was the first to arrive at this place. He had discovered these two at the first moment they arrived. The lion head was still slowly concealing itself. It approached and was about to explode. Just as it was about to explode, Suyu was about to cut it down when he was suddenly stunned. In front of him, the ignorant rabbit head suddenly kicked backward. This kick was full of force. Clearly, it was not a spur-of-the-moment idea. Instead, it had long discovered the lion head and was waiting for that fellow to take the bait. F***ck. Suyu was stunned. They were quite capable. These fellows were all scheming against one another. The lion head wanted to scheme against the rabbit head, but the rabbit head had already discovered the other party. However, it did not show any emotion. In the instant that it erupted, it gave it a fatal kick. This kick was extremely powerful. It seemed like it was going all out. Just as the lion head exploded, with a bang, the lion head's head was directly blown apart by the kick. "You're courting death." In front of them, the head of the rabbit swiftly turned around and slashed down with his saber. With a PFFT sound, the headless corpse was cut into two. Delighted, a smile appeared on the face of the rabbit, and its two big teeth were exposed. It had been waiting for this fellow to make a move. It had been waiting for quite some time, but this fellow was really slow. After killing the head of the lion with a single slash, while the head of the rabbit was delighted, it was preparing to whip the corpse, its face changed. In the air, a broken sword was floating in the air. The rabbit head was shocked. Just as it was about to speak, the broken sword pierced into it. With a pang, its sea of consciousness exploded, and the broken sword flew back and pierced through the rabbit head's body a few times before slicing it into many pieces. Suyu transformed into his human form and sighed deeply. "You sure are vigilant. It's a pity that, you're not strong enough." He had schemed a lot, but he was still a little weak. He felt a little emotional. That's right, so what if he had schemed a lot? This rabbit head was very astute. He had long discovered that the lion head wanted to kill him. Perhaps he had deliberately hidden himself here from the start, waiting for the lion head to take the bait. Perhaps, he had long discovered the other party. The result? Just as he was thinking, a small cloud appeared. He had killed enough and accumulated enough. The laws of heaven and earth had rewarded him again. A cloud drifted down. This time, it was not Heaven Yuan Qi or Heaven and Earth Divine Runes. It was an item. Suyu took it over and took a look. He was somewhat surprised. It was a pill. It was in a jade bottle. Suyu looked surprised. It was even a pill. Where did this pill come from? What kind of existence was the heavenly battlefield? Was this the training ground set up by the ancient experts back then? Therefore, rewards were given when there was a lot of killing. Were these rewards stored somewhere in the past? Where was the source of the laws of heaven and earth? If they found the source, could they capture all the treasures in one fell swoop? Suyu had countless thoughts. When the pill was in his hands, a stream of consciousness surged into his mind. Soul refining pill, strengthened the sea of will, high-grade profound rank. A high-tier profound grade pill. Suyu had almost never consumed a pill before because his cultivation speed was extremely fast. Even without the aid of a pill, the effects would still be the same. However, at this moment, the soul-tempering pill had left him slightly astonished. Strengthen my sea of consciousness. Profound grade pill, profound grade pill. If he were to consume it himself, it should have an effect, right? He had killed quite a number of people in order to accumulate this reward. The killing green armor and the killing red armor had their own rewards, but he didn't have any for killing the other fellows. This represented that it wasn't enough. He had to accumulate it to a certain level, only then would he be given a reward. The red armor should be the best, the heaven and earth divine text. The azure armor had some heaven yuan qi. Perhaps in the eyes of others, it was stronger than this pill, but Su Yu felt that this pill was much stronger than heaven yuan qi. Can it be eaten? Holding the pill, Su Yu was somewhat hesitant. It wouldn't expire, right? He had never heard of the heaven and earth reward being poisonous, but this was an ancient rule. Who knew if it had expired? At this moment, he could vaguely sense that people were coming from all directions. He quickly cleaned up the battlefield, put away the 2 corpses, and took the medicinal pills with him. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared from where he was. After he left, a figure appeared as fast as lightning. Lightning. Yes, it was a humanoid creature. However, there was a lightning symbol on its forehead. Lightning flickered, and it was extremely powerful. It was one of the more powerful members of the celestial race, the Thunder Celestial race. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1595. 1595 Chapter 363, Rising Stars 2. Below the primitive celestial race, the Thunder Celestial race was considered one of the most powerful races to attack. In the entire divine realm, they were also an overlord force. The Thunder Celestial race's strength was close to the mountain and sea realm, the 9th stage realm of Lingyun. Their speed was extremely fast. Their attack power was also extremely strong. Bolts of lightning flashed and rumbled. In the nearby area, the rocks underground were all reduced to dust. In the air, saber chi slashed towards him. The Thunder Celestial race's lightning burst forth with a boom and destroyed the saber chi. Ignoring the saber chi, he quickly checked the surroundings. Some of the blood on the ground had already disappeared, but there was still some aura left behind. Mad Lion Clan, Moon Rabbit Clan. Muttering to himself, the expert from the Thunder God Clan sensed for a moment and replayed the scene of the battle. He was killed instantly. Who killed him? With the heaven and earth rewards, it meant that the other party's strength might not be as good as the 2 of them, at least in terms of realm. He quickly took out a sublist and checked it. At this moment, the rankings of the few experts in his memory didn't change much, and there were also some whose rankings rose. And very soon, he looked at a list. Chui Lang. Ranked 17th on the profound list. Rose by 1 rank. Chui Lang. This guy should have killed someone again. From the moment he entered until now, he hadn't found Chui Lang. And Mintian had met him once, and Huang Ting seemed to have met Tian Duo and the others. But this Chui Lang, after entering, he had been silent. Could it be Chui Lang? With some uncertainty, he quickly chased in a direction. Other people wanted to kill Huang Ting, but he wasn't very interested in Huang Ting. That guy was very dangerous, and many people were fighting over him. He had long taken a fancy to Chui Lang. This guy was an earth weapons division. And he also had a powerful godly skill. Godly skills, the Protoss might be able to use it. As for the earthly army division, they should have quite a number of soldiers, right? They should have quite a lot of materials, right? Killing Chui Lang might not result in less rewards than Huang Ting, but it was still better to kill some. The threat was smaller, and the competition was also smaller. After all, most of their targets were Huang Ting. The experts of the Thunder God clan quickly left. After Su Yu escaped, it didn't take long for him to notice something. The tribulation word kept jumping. Su Yu frowned. This continued jumping, did it mean that someone was following him? I'm so low-key, and someone is still targeting me. Since the tribulation word kept jumping, it meant that there was still some danger. Troublesome. I'm so honest, do you still want to kill me? Aren't Huang Tang and the others inside? Go kill Huang Tang. Su Yu thought irresponsibly. He needed to cultivate now, so how could he have the time to care about others? It was meaningless to kill the weak, but it was useless to kill the strong. It was a waste of my time. He quickly hid himself and turned into a piece of gravel, landing at the corner of the valley. Not long after he hid, a lightning flashed and swept over. Su Yu was shocked. The lightning directly swept the earth. The ground was not broken, but the powerful obstacles were lifted up. This was an investigative technique. The Thunder God clan's investigative technique. Su Yu recognized it at a glance. He was shocked. He had only heard of it, but he had never seen it before. He had never absorbed the Thunder God clan's blood essence, so he didn't know this technique. At this moment, he cursed in his heart and quickly left. This kind of investigative technique was very disgusting. When it swept through the surroundings, space would be swept away. Whether it was the invisibility technique or the concealment technique, they would all be disturbed. Once they were disturbed, they would be easily detected by the other party. Was this the Thunder God clan's powerhouse chasing after him? He quickly recalled the information he had read. The Thunder God clan, which Thunder God clan had been active in the Yu High Plain recently? On the heaven hunting list, there are 3 guys from the Thunder God clan on the list. There were quite a number of people on the list, 3 of them. 1 on the Earth, Xian, and Yellow lists. However, the one on the Yellow list had just soared into the air. The power he had just displayed was definitely not of the soaring realm. He might even have the strength of mountains and seas. The one on the Earth roll is mountains and seas. The one on the Xian roll is at the 9th level of Lingyun. Which one is it? Su Yu was not too sure. Unless he was within 1,000 meters and used the sensing jade to investigate, it was sometimes difficult to tell. No matter which one it was, there was a high probability that he was not a match for them. The 9th level of Lingyun of the Celestials was still extremely powerful, especially the Thunder Celestials who were good at fighting. If it was on the profound list, it meant that he had killed someone of a higher level than him. The other party might have killed someone of the 1st or 2nd level of the mountain and sea realm, but not many of them were of a higher level. That was why he was listed on the profound list. Depressing. Su Yu cursed in his heart. This kind of person was very difficult to deal with. If one's physical strength was strong, it might exceed 50,000 apertures. For the top-tier Lingyun, once he reached the 9th level, it was normal for him to have 100,000 apertures of strength. This was not something that a normal Lingyun could achieve. Even the mountain and sea realm would find it difficult. It was best to stay away from such a guy. Su Yu actually dared to fight against a weak race's mountain and sea. A strong race's Lingyun was dignified. He had to think about the consequences. As he was running, the lightning flashed again and swept over. Su Yu fled quickly. At this moment, someone shouted in the distance, "Lei Ju. Don't investigate recklessly. What are you trying to do?" A powerful figure appeared in the distance, surrounded by lightning. He said coldly, "Don't be noisy. I can't be bothered with you. I'm here to track down Cui Lang. If you continue to be noisy, you might lose your life." You. On the other side, an eagle-mouthed expert was a bit angry. He snorted, and wings appeared on his back. He spread his wings and flew into the distance. He was still a bit worried. The eagle expert knew that he might not be able to defeat Lei Ju, even if he had already reached the 1st level of the mountain and sea realm. However, he wasn't feeling well, so he let out a roar. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1596. 1596 Chapter 363, Rising Stars 3. Lei Ju sneered. He was worried about fighting with the other party and being targeted. That was why he gave up on attacking him. Otherwise, killing a mountain and sea realm expert would probably be quite rewarding. Lei Ju. Su Yu had a rough idea. As expected, the guy on the profound list was ranked 7th on the profound list. Lei Ju was at the 9th level of Lingyun realm. He had once killed an expert at the 1st level of the mountain and sea realm, which was why he was on the profound list. The Thunder God clan. Su Yu cursed in his heart again. His thunder word holy prose had not advanced to the 4th level. Otherwise, he would not be so afraid of this guy. If the thunder word holy prose could advance, the threat of the Thunder God clan to him would be greatly reduced. The opponent's strength lay in the powerful destructive power of the Thunder God clan. Once it was weakened by 30 to 40% by his holy prose, he would not be able to kill this guy. Su Yu cursed in his heart. He was thinking about how to level up the thunder runes. This guy had actually tracked him. It was very troublesome. If he did not kill the other party, how was he going to cultivate? Level up the thunder runes. Troublesome. It was very difficult to level up from level 3 to level 4. Unless there was still a sun-moon runes for him to use, or if the heaven and earth runes rewarded him 3 or 4 times, he would have a chance to level up the thunder runes. As for the rest, he would have to shatter his own divine text and absorb it for himself. For example, if he broke the blood divine text and let the lightning divine text absorb it, that would work too. If it came from the same source, it would be better to absorb it. Su Yu gritted his teeth. Bastard. If he searched like this, it would be hard for him to hide. The Thunder God race's probing technique was too powerful. On the heavenly battlefield, the 10,000 races had too many methods. If they were in the human realm, they would not be able to find many who could use this probing technique. In the end, almost everyone in the Thunder God race could use it now. Kill. If he continued to kill, he would be rewarded by the heavens and earth. It would be best if he could shatter the divine runes a few times to cultivate. This way, he would have a chance to level up the divine runes before turning around to kill that bastard. Lei Ju, very good, it's you. Su Yu focused his mind. It was him, his goal this time. Strive towards his goal. Kill. A large hammer appeared in Su Yu's hand. No matter who it was, as long as it was not as good as his, he would kill it with a single hammer. Other than humans who could not be killed randomly, he could kill anyone else, including his human allies. There was no such thing as allies. Even the immortals could be killed. Under his feet, his boots flickered with light. With the flow of time, Su Yu stepped through the air at an extremely fast speed. The silence and in words were activated, causing very little movement. Su Yu also dashed forward. There were creatures in front of him, and they weren't weak. When they heard the weak movement, they didn't turn around and quickly retreated to the side of the canyon. Only then did they turn around to look at Su Yu. When they saw the hammer in Su Yu's hand clearly, they instantly came to a realization. Cui Lang. This fellow actually appeared. Just as they were about to say something, killing intent erupted from Su Yu's eyes. The kill words caused his killing intent to overflow, and the fight words caused his fighting intent to be full. With a kick across the air, the slow, divine script combined with the time, cultivation technique, coupled with the effect of the blood, illusory realm, the yak-like creature's vision blurred as it let out a rapid roar. Cui Lang, you and I have no enmity. Childish. Su Yu shouted coldly. Enmity? How many people here had enmity with each other? None of them had any enmity. However, since they were here, then they were all enemies. Hiss. With a long roar, the yak's biological aperture erupted. The yuan qi stacked on top of each other, layer after layer. Rumbling sound spread out. Ling Yun's third-level strength at this moment was not weaker than the green armor that Suyu had seen. That green armor was Ling Yun's 7th level. At this moment, the yak was going all out. Unlucky. This fellow had too many tricks up his sleeves. Even now, it was still dark before its eyes. Furthermore, its sense of danger was very weak. No, sometimes it was very weak, but at other times, it was so strong that it made it tremble in fear. That was the effect of the god's script of calamity. It was strong and weak at times, causing its state of mind to change. Sometimes, it felt that the danger at the back was extremely strong, but there was no danger at the front. In the end, when Suyu's hammer came down, it was not at the back, but at the front. His hammer almost caused its sea of consciousness to collapse. This yak was suffering too. How could it be so strong? Moreover, it had messed up all of its predictions and sense of danger. This made it blind. Even if Suyu was right beside it, its sense of danger was greatly weakened. The speed of the battle between the two parties was extremely fast. Suyu held a large hammer in his hand, and with one hammer strike, the other party was dizzy. With two hammers, the sea of consciousness shook. It shook incessantly. Furthermore, Suyu used both his hands and feet. His feet did not stop moving, time revolved, and with a kick, he felt as if time and space were in disorder. This was also him. If the Silkworm Extermination King came, with a single kick, this yak might be turned back by time. Very quickly, it returned to its youth. The invincible turtle of the top 100 races that the Silkworm Extermination King could fight had retreated back to this world. Its strength was not something that could be bragged about. After about 30 seconds of battle, Suyu's cultivation technique suddenly changed. It was the heaven-cleaving blade. In the next moment, saber chi gathered in the surroundings. Suyu's hammer turned into a blade and slashed out. The power of this blade was more than 30% stronger than his usual swinging of the blade. Under Suyu's full strength, his physical combat strength was also incomparably powerful. His young apertures were half opened, and with the addition of the strength word divine script, there was a loud boom. A saber light reflected in all directions. Puchi. A huge head fell down. Suyu took a deep breath and quickly closed his young aperture. At this moment, a small cloud appeared and quickly merged into Suyu's body. Trash! Suyu cursed loudly. It was Heaven Yuan Qi again. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1597. 1597 Chapter 363, Rising to the Top Young Expert 4. The Heaven Yuan Qi rapidly strengthened his physical body, but he did not lack Heaven Yuan Qi. Of course, the heaven and earth rewards had to be fused faster, but he did not lack it. He wanted the willpower reward or the divine text reward. He quickly collected the corpse, and then, a huge fire burned all traces. It was still not good to expose the heaven-splitting blade. Suyu circulated the celestial cultivation technique, and in the blink of an eye, the blade energy swept out and attacked. It was as if Suyu had just triggered the blade energy, causing the blade energy to counterattack. Suyu hurriedly escaped. And at this moment, another name on the yellow roll dimmed. Desolate Ox Clan, Basil, 3rd level of Lingyun. The yellow roll genius's name dimmed in the blink of an eye and disappeared. At this moment, Suyu's ranking on the profound board rose by another rank, 16th on the profound board, Chui Lang. At this moment, some of the people who had their own lists took out their lists with strange expressions. It was Chui Lang from the Daming Mansion again. In just a short day, he had killed many yellow roll genius in succession. One had to know that there were only 630 people on the heaven hunting list of the 10,000 clans. How many of them had been killed? Green armor, red armor, Basler. This time, there was not only movement in the Yu High Plain. Some of the experts and geniuses who had been stationed in their headquarters were moving toward the Yu High Plain. Was there another monster on the human side? Did this mean that they were going to kill their way all the way to the Earth Roll? Of course, if some people disappeared, there would be people on the list. In the past few days, the list had changed frequently. Long Wuyo of the Golden Dragon clan had started to enter the list, and Tian Duo of the Sure Demon clan had started to enter the list. These geniuses who had not been on the list in the past had also obtained battle results and entered the list. In the Sea of Desire Plain, in an ancient city. The sky was destroyed. The sky was about to be destroyed, but the city was not. At this moment, in this ancient city, a group of people gathered in a huge hall. In the center of the hall, an old man had his back facing everyone as he looked at the changing list. He smiled faintly. Human Chui Lang, first level Ling Yun, killed many geniuses on the list in succession. This is very rare. Of course, in the past, there were some geniuses from all over the world who killed their way to the heavens. However, this Chui Lang didn't have the reputation of being unrivaled in the human race. He made a judgment and quickly said, "The 4 heaven-hunting tribes, quickly investigate. Send someone into the human realm to investigate Chui Lang's past. Investigate Chui Lang's situation. Also, this Chui Lang is a first-rate blacksmith and has unparalleled combat strength. Although he's a genius on the profound board. Something's not right." The old man muttered, "A genius on the profound board can cross ranks and kill people. No one can cross ranks like him and kill only experts on the ranking board. Go, investigate carefully and see if it's really Cui Lang or if someone is impersonating him." "Yes, my lord." In the great hall, someone quickly accepted the order. Soon, someone said, "My lord, do you need the 4 heaven-hunting tribes to investigate Chui Lang again? Or to test him?" "No need. He's in Heaven Break Valley now. It's very chaotic there. The heaven-hunting pavilion won't send people to their deaths." "Yes, my lord." Soon, someone withdrew and arranged for the human realm to investigate Chui Lang's past. The old man was silent for a while and then said, "Are the pure evil army still hunting down the powerhouses of the 4 divisions?" "Yes. Ask the 4 divisions to retreat. Recently, the pure evil army has been cleaning up a lot. Human realm experts might be preparing for war. Retreat as soon as possible." "Yes, sir." After arranging for a while, the old man turned around. However, his face was faceless. As if he was looking at something, the gray-haired old man said again, "Chui Lang. Chui Lang. Daming Mansion. The Daming Mansion of the human race has been making a lot of noise recently. Does anyone know about Suyu of Daming Mansion?" "Yes, I do." Below, a masked man who only revealed his eyes replied. The old man said indifferently, "Go and check Suyu's movements. A few months ago, the other party fought with Shan Xiong. After that, it was silent." Soon, Chui Lang appeared. The old man was a little hesitant and uncertain. Soon, he said, "Check it out. Use some human realm spies. The heaven hunting list needs to be real and reliable. If there are any mistakes, the heaven hunting pavilion's reputation will be damaged and its credibility will be reduced. Then, the name of heaven hunting pavilion will not live up to its name." "Yes, sir." Another person retreated. The old man did not speak anymore. The others below also quickly retreated silently. After they left, the main hall suddenly disappeared. It disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared before. On the spot, a house appeared. There were still people living in the house, and as usual, they didn't feel anything. They didn't feel that a main hall had just appeared and covered them. At the same time, in a huge and majestic palace in Heaven Destruction City, a stone statue suddenly opened its eyes and looked in the direction where the main hall had disappeared, and its lips moved slightly. Heaven Hunter Pavilion. Get out of the Heaven Destruction City. We're leaving now. Heaven Destruction City Lord, please calm down. We're just passing by. In the air, a voice rang out. The stone statue closed its eyes and returned to its original state. It sat cross-legged, as though it had existed since ancient times. As for the Heaven Hunter Pavilion, it seemed to have existed since ancient times. Everything returned to normal. No one knew that in this palace that had existed for countless years, that stone statue was actually alive. Of course, this stone statue had existed for too long and had long fused with the palace. The people who occupied it later on didn't bother about it and wanted to destroy it several times, but they failed, so they gave up. The City Lord of Heaven Destruction. The Heaven Hunter Pavilion replied, and when word spread out, it would probably be surprising and strange. The City Lord of Heaven Destruction wasn't this stone statue, but a 9th-level Sun-Moon expert from a small clan who had occupied this place. He was invincible and didn't bother with it, which made him the overlord of this place. You're tuning into the Han Lee's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1598. 1598 Chapter 363, Rising Stars 5. At this moment, Suyu couldn't care so much. Slaughter. Escape. Lei Ju had been chasing them all the way. At this moment, his voice reverberated in Heaven Break Valley. Chui Lang, come out. You can't escape. Ahead is Mintian and the others' territory. Do you want to court death? Lei Ju's voice echoed in the air. He was furious as well. After chasing after Chui Lang, he lost track of him several times. It was only after this fellow killed that he realized what was going on and rushed over. However, Chui Lang's strength wasn't weak at all. Every time he encountered an opponent, he would end the battle as quickly as possible. Very quickly, he killed all of his opponents and fled. If this continued, he might really run into Mintian and the others. At that time, his pursuit until now had been useless. He wasn't a match for Mintian. They were both Celestials, so they weren't from the same race. The Ice and Snow Celestial race that Guy was from was also very strong. Mintian was still in the Mountain Sea realm, so he knew that he couldn't win against Mintian. In front. Suyu continued to hide, but he wasn't angry. He silently absorbed the rewards from earlier, and his heart was filled with joy. Finally, he gave a willpower reward. It was so infuriating. Along the way, he killed 7 or 8 guys, and after accumulating all of them, he only gave a single reward. Fortunately, he had received a willpower reward. Little Hairy Ball wanted to eat it, but was immediately sent flying by Suyu's hammer. All of this willpower had been supplied to the Thunder Divine Text by him. However, when the absorption ended, the divine text still did not advance. Suyu was very depressed. Tier 4 divine texts were really difficult. Up until now, he did not have many Tier 4 divine texts. Blood, Fire, and Transformation were all Tier 4 divine texts, while the others had not even reached Tier 4. His divine texts were advancing too slowly. He had already absorbed a large amount of the Sun-Moon divine runes. Before reaching level 4, the lightning doesn't weaken much. When I fight with that fellow, I'll easily be paralyzed by his lightning. His willpower wasn't strong enough either. That fellow was at the 9th level of Ling Yun. He didn't need to have a strong willpower to break through 10 times with a single blow. His willpower would be shattered as well. Suyu didn't want to be electrocuted to death by lightning. Tier 4 divine runes. It's best to find a few civilized masters to kill. Killing a civilized master, shattering the other party's divine runes, and absorbing the aftershocks of the divine runes was also fine. But up until now, Suyu had never killed a civilized master. He didn't know whether it was because the civilized masters of the myriad clans didn't go out, or he hadn't met one. Of course, the 5 Elements clans were all civilized masters. This was certain. If he met the floating earth spirit and killed him, he might be able to obtain some divine inscriptions. Lei Ju. Suyu turned around to take a look and cursed silently. Wait. Wait for my divine inscriptions to advance. Without the heaven and earth rewards, he went to find civilized masters to kill. Seriously, aren't the civilized masters of the myriad clans too timid? Why don't I meet a few of them? Look at how bold I, the civilized master of the myriad clans, am. I am running around, Wuxia is running around too. Why are you all holed up in your nest? As he continued to kill, he was now ranked 13th on the heaven hunting list. Suyu was not clear about this at the moment, and he was not interested to know that even if he encountered the heaven hunting list, he would not carry it with him. He was afraid that he would be targeted by others, and it would be very dangerous. And Suyu's speed of rushing the heaven hunting list shocked countless people. He had come to the Sea of Desire Plains, head to tail, and it had only been 3 days. In 3 days, he had gone from the last place on the yellow roll to the 13th place on the profound roll. He was much faster than some of the geniuses who had lived here for many years. Suyu did not think any further. If he went any further, he might really meet an Mintian. That fellow was even stronger than Lei Ju. He had to be careful. However, an Mintian's detection ability was not as good as Lei Ju's, so he might be able to dodge it. Currently, in Suyu's view, the biggest threat to him in the entire Heaven's Break Valley was not an Mintian, nor was it Tian Duo. Instead, it was Lei Ju. There were specializations in techniques, and if his detection ability was too strong, it would be a huge threat to Suyu. As for whether he would directly enter the earth roll after killing Lei Ju, Suyu did not consider it. He thought that after killing Lei Ju, he might be able to use his blood essence to learn the detection technique. This was still very useful. With the induction jade, he could forget about anyone hiding within 1,000 meters from him. Boom! At this moment, a loud sound came from behind. A blade aura tore through the sky and pierced through the Grand Canyon. Suyu looked at it from afar and saw a blade light flash past. A huge phantom of a god and demon was shattered. Huang Teng. Suyu's eyes moved and he quickly turned invisible. He hid in the same spot and did not move. In less than a minute, a figure quickly stepped through the air. It was an Mintian. At this moment, the white-haired Mintian was rushing over. He had no time to investigate who was there. Huang Teng was there. Killing Huang Teng, the first on the earth roll, that was his goal. As for the others, they were not as valuable as Huang Teng. After he left, Suyu appeared and was secretly delighted. Huang Teng had done a great job. With such a huge commotion, even the people were attracted away. There was no one in front. That's not right, and Mintian brought people here, right? Suyu's heart skipped a beat. Damn, if he ran away, then what about the people he brought? Am I able to go and kill some people? Thinking of this, he didn't dare to delay and quickly ran forward. He couldn't care less about how Huang Ting ran. Let me become stronger first. And Mintian, this fellow, runs really fast. The people you brought, they can't run as fast as you, right? As for Lei Ju, I don't know if he went to Huang Ting's side now, or if he continued to track me, but he probably wanted to vomit blood. Because an Mintian ran away, the powerhouses blocking Suyu's path were gone. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1599. 1599 Chapter 364, Wave to the Earth Roll 1. And Mintian brought a lot of people with him. There were geniuses from the celestial race and experts from small clans. Those who could be brought by him were not weak. At this moment, these people also quickly chased forward. However, their speed was not as fast as Mintian's, so they were left behind by a distance. On the other side, Huang Ting's blade aura was powerful. He killed an expert with one strike, and everyone saw it. At this moment, they were all in a hurry to catch up to him. It was obvious that Huang Ting was also at the end of his rope. After being caught up by Tian Duo and the others, it was obvious that Huang Ting and Wuxia, who were severely injured, had nowhere to run. At this moment, a few experts were chatting as they chased after them. It seems like there's nothing left for us to do. Yeah, Huang Ting is dead for sure. Unfortunately, we won't be able to reap any benefits. Even Surin might not be able to reap any benefits. Tian Duo from the Sure Demon race has made a huge profit this time. He's the number one on the Earth roll. If he's killed, the heaven and earth rewards will definitely not be small. It won't be difficult for us to help him directly cross the 8th or 9th level of Lingyun and enter the mountain and sea realm. This will save us a lot of time. Tendo isn't old either. If the mountain and sea of the incipient demon race really enters the mountain and sea realm, Lorden might not be able to take down Tendo. They sighed. This was the era where the strong ate the weak. The races had great talent, powerful cultivation techniques, and powerful strength. The powerful races like the gods and demons had a huge advantage. No matter how hard the other small clans worked, it would be difficult for them to catch up. It had to be said that some creatures were born superior to others. At this time, among this group of experts, there was a Lingyun realm expert who also came from the god race. He had 6 pure white wings on his back. As he listened to their discussions, he had a proud expression on his face. Proud and arrogant. This was also the personality of many gods and demons. Gods and demons were superior to the 10,000 races. At this moment, as he listened to them discussing in Mintian, the 6-winged god race said indifferently, the origin demon race is strong, but even if Tian Duo advanced to the mountain and sea realm, he is still far from being comparable to some of the geniuses of our god race. Of course, on the side of the origin demon race, Tian Duo is still far from being comparable to Modwa. This time, no one said anything. They nodded in tacit agreement. Modwa of the incipient demon race was the number 1 expert on the heaven roll. He was at the 7th level of Lingyun realm and had killed an existence at the 7th level of the mountain and sea realm. Even Zhan Wushuang, who was ranked 2nd, had been defeated by him. Zhan Wushuang, an expert at the 8th level of the mountain and sea realm who had killed an expert at the 1st level of the sun and moon realm, was ranked lower than that fellow. Speaking of this, a creature asked curiously, why didn't Modwa come this time? The 6-winged celestial said indifferently, he definitely won't come. Huang Ting is not in his eyes. Unless Qin Fang and Huang Ting arrive together, he will only be interested. Otherwise, Modwa is incomparably proud. Why would he come to kill someone who is not as good as him? Once these words were said, the others felt a wave of envy. This was the top heaven's pride of the 10,000 races. His gaze was too high. People like Huang Ting were not in his eyes. As for Long Zhan and the others from the Dragon clan, they were naturally not in his eyes. Those who were in his eyes were probably those fellows who were also geniuses on the heaven roll. They chatted idly and were not in a hurry to catch up. It was the same whether they left early or late. There was no need to hurry. And at this moment, Suyu arrived. His speed was extremely fast. The wind-type divine script sped up as he stepped on his Earth-grade battle boots. He flashed across the distance and flew over. The 6-winged celestial race felt his vision blur as he shouted, "Kill!" These experts were all experienced killers. Their reactions weren't slow and they were somewhat shocked. There were a total of 8 experts in their group. The other 7 weren't on the list, but the 6-winged celestial race was still on the yellow list. They were at the 3rd level of Ling Yun, but those who had killed a 6th level Ling Yun were not old either. Under such circumstances, there was actually someone who dared to attack them. There were 8 experts in a group. It would have been fine if the other party had more people, but there was only one person. The moment the word kill was uttered, one of the experts transformed into a huge kunpang. His mouth was wide open as he sucked in a mouthful of air toward Su Yu. As for the other creatures, some of them turned invisible, some turned into weapons and charged towards Su Yu. There were also creatures that released monstrous flames. The 6-winged expert flapped his wings and broke through the void. In the blink of an eye, he separated from the others and broke through Su Yu's illusion. When he saw Su Yu's appearance, he shouted, "How dare you, Cui Lang!" He was courting death. This human had gone mad. He actually dared to attack them. 6-winged celestial race. The moment he saw the 6-winged celestial race, Su Yu was furious. He hated the 6-winged celestial race. The quiet 6-winged celestial sect had been targeting the multi-god language faction. They had killed Wuxia's parents, almost killed Feng Qi, and forced Qin Yong to flee the Great Xia mansion. They deserved to be killed. They deserved to die. His killing intent instantly boiled to the peak. At this moment, Su Yu roared and the hammer in his hand directly turned into a long saber. Saber. This was Su Yu's original godly skill. Although the 99 divine inscriptions weren't fully formed yet, in truth, even a half-formed blade was still stronger than the other divine inscriptions. Break. With an angry roar, the divine inscriptions broke through the defense instantly. The long blade charged out with a strong willpower. Black flames were attached to the blade. That was the soul-devouring technique. This blade used the heaven-cleaving blade. The surrounding saber qi swept over. It was only at the 3rd level of Ling Yun. Did he really think that the Celestials were stronger than him? Su Yu roared and slashed down with his saber. With a rumble, the 6-winged celestial race's expression changed. He instantly flapped his wings to avoid this saber attack. It was so powerful. He was slightly shocked and quickly made a judgment. In the blink of an eye, his expression changed drastically. This wasn't a single divine script type powerhouse. This was a multi-divine script combat technique.